Nobody's going to quit work anyway. It's all.
Good news. Saturday's jackpot is up to $935 million, fifth largest in the game's history.
WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, Newton, Sharpsburg, Franklin, LaGrange.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. The new poll shows that the presidential election was held now, it would be too close to call. The Penitentiary University
It's
shows
tragic
President
in the
Biden with 48% support of voters and former President Trump with 45% if the two went head-to-head, putting Biden's lead within the margin of error. When factoring in independent and Green Party candidates, Trump gets a 1% lead, making the race a toss-up. The White House says a high-stakes meeting with Israeli officials in Washington is being rescheduled. Liz Taylor goes instead.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said the office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to go forward with a meeting on a potential military operation in southern Gaza. Israel canceled the delegation earlier this week after the U.S. allowed the UN Security Council to adopt a resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The U.S., Israel, and leaders in the Middle East are negotiating a separate ceasefire agreement tied to the release of hostages held by Hamas. I'm Lisa Taylor.
Most Americans now believe that marijuana should be legal. RyanShelander.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with them.
Pew Research Center found 88% of Americans think cannabis should be legal
That's
for
what's wrong with
recreational or medical use, while nearly 6 out of 10 believe it should be legal for both uses. Around 3 out of 10 think it should be only legal for medical purposes. About 10% believe it should be outlawed. I'm RyanShelander.
4 people are dead and 5 others injured at a stabbing spree in Illinois. Crowds were violent attacks at multiple scenes around the city of Rockford on Tuesday, about 60 miles northwest of Chicago. One suspect who has not been identified is now in custody. And rates of sexually transmitted diseases are skyrocketing among older Americans. This week, the CDC revealed rates of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis in people over 55 more than doubled in the U.S. between 2012 and 2022. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I'm getting my poll question up, guys. Sorry about that. It's going to be kind of a hefty one.
$34.99. The 2 pizzas are probably 10 each.
35.
What if I told you that this Domino's Perfect Combo is only $19.99? Shut the front door.
This will be a family.
It's Domino's Perfect Combo and it's $19.99.
Buying some pretzel sticks?
Excuse me?
This is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless.
Okay.
What if you didn't eat all those pretzel sticks by the end of the month? So
Good morning to everybody there with us.
That's how some wireless companies.
All right, let's see here.
TracFone Wireless gives you unlimited
Zero
stereo data without
in.
the service, so you keep what you pay for. Plans start at $20 a month.
Wow, that's cool.
Sir, are you bothering the customers?
Yeah, hang on. This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless.
It's not true.
See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
Hi, Lisa.
What
Wants
it's
to tell you
spelled
that
over
the 5-hour Hollywood show and the 30-minute Radio Rarities podcast can be emailed to you every Monday via digital download link that never expires. That's 24 classic radio shows per month, plus the games, celebrity.
Hope you're having a great morning so far. Good morning, everybody. We got our poll question about to go up. That's what I'm working on right now. Sorry.
Visit Hollywood
Welcome everybody in.
That's Hollywood360radio.com.
Where can you be a star athlete and a math superstar? Where can you prepare for graduate school or your dream job and make friends for the journey? Where can you challenge your mind and inspire your soul? Experience a transforming education at LaGrange College, one of the South's most affordable, highly ranked institutions. Learn more at lagrange.edu.
Family fun is back in Lynette. Primetime Carnival and Jordan Communications presents the next Spring Carnival, April 2nd through the 7th. Rides, fun, food, games, more. Open nightly 6 p.m., 2 p.m. for weekends. The next Spring Carnival, Highway 29, Old Neal Parking Lot in Lynette, Alabama, April 2nd through the 7th.
Good morning to you.
For you and me. Be there.
I'm Arnold here from Cowley to Force. Cowley to Force is Newman's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support.
All right, here we go. Good morning. Sorry about that. Good morning. How you doing? Thank you very much, Ryan. I'm Ryan. You're Ryan. Great name.
Or follow us on Facebook.
All right. Which tragic event will be the next Lifetime movie? I'm doing fantastic on a Thursday. That's right. Work every day. You never know in this business. I'm doing fantastic. Yes, my name is Ryan O'Neal. So yes.
Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A, here in Newton. Hi, this is Mark Soriano, asking you to tune in to Let Go or Let God.
All right, I got our poll question up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Which tragic event will be the next LMN Lifetime Movie Network's movie? Uvalde school shooting, Covenant school shooting, Buffalo store shooting, or none of them, which I want none of them. 33% of you are saying none of them so far. 33% are saying Uvalde school shooting. You know how Lifetime Movie Network likes to make movies about all this stuff. This is True Crime Thursday. That's why the question's up this morning. We do true crime news and more. Weird Wednesdays if you join us for the first time. Twisted Tuesdays with movie reviews. Sports on Mondays, Major News Mondays, and Fun Fridays. Fun Fridays. Yeah, the Lifetime Movie Networks they're doing all week this long based movies. They got last night they had now of course I already seen this weeks ago because I called it, but I don't really watch it that much except for some stuff, but I watched a movie, The Murdoch Murders. Hello from Iran. What's up, my friends in Iran? How you doing? Oh, let me plug my phone in so that I don't go dead. There we go. Almost forgot. All right, here we go. We're going on. I'll tell you in a minute, my brother. Twisted version, or it should say True Crime Thursday version of your favorite radio show. That's right. Live everywhere you need to be. We're going to kick it off. It's RyanORadio Penitentiary. I'm your host and most, Ryan O'Neal, and of course, tell them. Yes, I am the game. 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast. Shout out across that RyanORadio media page. Earth Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. 20 different radio stations, including internet and radio there across that great area. And the British Columbia Isles of Canada. And finally, the Jordan Communication and Family radio stations, East Alabama, West Georgia, including right here at 99.1 FM, WQEE, The Key, home of Southern sports, news, inspirational talk, and the RyanORadio Penitentiary. Yours truly, Ryan O'Neal. We're in lockdown right now. 3 periods of nonstop play coming up for you. We're going to talk about some things. I got my poll question of the day, and we're going to kick it all off right now. But first, to my haters, tell them, Triple H, what I have to say about that. I am the man around here, whether they like it or not. Good morning from our friend from Israel. We got a Ryan on with us this morning, which makes it fantastic. Another Ryan. Yeah, Ryan's take over the world. You know, I remember when I got in this business and it started growing for me, Ryan Seacrest became well known on American Idol. I was like, oh my goodness. Thank you, Ryan Seacrest, for bringing that name to life. It'll help me out. No. We call it the RyanORadio Penitentiary. What's up, Zach? My brother, how you doing? Yes, us Ryans do rule the world, Ryan. There you go. What's up, Zach? How you doing, my brother? Joining us on the WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, Atlanta's YouTube page. We're all over our Facebook as well as RyanORadio Penitentiary. Everywhere you need to be. We're just worldwide. No, I won't shout that out, but I agree with you, Ryan. Have to make ourselves feel. Have to agree with you on that one. I hear you. Oh my goodness, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you saying, don't shout this out. Oh, man. All right, we got 3 periods of nonstop play coming up for you. It's the RyanORadio Penitentiary. You guys are in lockdown with yours truly. We're live worldwide, everywhere you need to be. Coming up is True Crime Thursday. We're going to dive into some true crime that has some connections to the metro Atlanta area this morning. We'll talk about the Ghost Face Gangsters. You know, I have to do my Scott Hall impersonation. Chico, whatever. Ooh, I'm scared. We'll talk about them. We'll have a few true crime news for you. We'll get you more stuff that's going on. Israel at war updates. We give it from both sides. We don't have opinions. We just give the news on that. There is opinions on the show. It's just that it gets more into fun stuff and stuff like that. We do movie reviews if you're joining us for the first time on Tuesdays. We do Weird Wednesdays, like yesterday we had Horrifying History with Brenda Gasky. And on Thursday we have True Crime Thursday. Michael, are you going to get in here and act like an uneducated hillbilly that joined the Klan? I know I'm not, by the way. I'm an independent. I'm intelligent. I'm not that, but I'm definitely not going to buy a fake Bible. Sure. I appreciate that. That's what you say. Why you want to start an argument? Everybody else is educated and you're acting good and having a good time. This is what I dislike about the media. They always want to divide you guys. Michael, you might really be a decent guy, but the media wants to divide us all and make you get mad at me and make fun of something that you don't even know anything about me because I'm a better. I've got a PhD. That doesn't mean you're educated, bro. They give away. I'm not picking on you, but they give away things to people. They hand things to people sometimes. What are you gonna? Am I gonna have to eliminate you, Michael? Because are you offended by that? I don't even know what that means. Ross says, Michael, you aren't a good human being. That's enough. Zach says, I have a bachelor's degree. Yeah, that's my man right there. Zach is. And I work at a warehouse. Well, you don't need to be working there. You're right, Michael. If I block you, you win. I'm just saying, don't let the mainstream media divide you guys. That's what I preach on this show. We don't do a bunch of BS and get into all that. We don't fight and argue. We have a good time. I have a lot of young people come on here and they say some things that you might get offended by because they like to have fun, but I don't get offended by them because they're just out there having fun. Zach, PhD is just a degree, brother. That's right. I got a degree as well too, brother. And I'm in broadcast radio, so But people just want to fuss. Not seeing none of the media is true, brother. If you want, I tell you what, I got more listeners worldwide with all of my stuff put together than Newsmax and OAM put together. So whatever. Rob, what are you doing, brother? Trolling chats. That's new. What's up, Rob? How you doing, man? No problem. Look, I want him not to get mad and start arguing. I mean, we're not in here to get into a disagreement over that stuff. I don't care either way. You vote for whoever you want to vote for. I'm not going to sit here and get into that. I don't like any of the mainstream media because it divides all of the people. But people like Michael, he probably just wants to have fun and mess with somebody. So you never been on a Canadian news channel before? Really? Well, they got more viewers and listeners than Newsmax. Who's in their mom's basement going, the world's coming to an end. Robert says, I have a PhD. I'm a doctor of alien activity and live chats. Whoa, brother. No, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, man. We're from Georgia. Michael, I appreciate you, though, saying that. Look, I'm not going to argue because I'm trying to make you enjoy it like the rest of them. Wow, I sound Canadian. Wow. God, I don't sound. It sounds good to me or whatever. That's not anybody. I don't do that. I'm a true live Christian, so that's it. Let me tell you back. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. So, Michael, I'm not trying to get into it with you. You can say I want to have fun though, bro. But just remember, nobody's gonna fight on here. I don't care who votes for who. But by the way, I make fun of all of them. So you might get offended if I make fun of Biden and Trump. I don't have a boyfriend. I'm married to a woman. Why are you being uneducated, dude? And I'm not going to put anybody down that's doing that. I got a PhD in that's what they told me when they handed it to me because my mom and dad paid for it. They had money their whole life that they stole from the Native American. Sweet Leaf, can you guys get it? I got the Native American land on with me. Sweet Leaf, can you get into this? Sweet Leaf says, oh no, there he comes. He's going to get handed. PhDs are free, actually. Well, what kind of PhD you got? PhD in trolling? I'm picking with you. He probably cried. Don't let him cry. All right, let's get off of that subject. Get on to what we're going to be doing. Rob, thank you, brother. How many PhD students does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, because it takes them 3 years to do it. Oh, hey, see, Michael, I don't have to worry about it. I told you, you're in with the fantastic group of people that are with us this morning. Oh, I don't think you want to mess with Rob. All right, let's ask the question this morning, guys. Let's ask the question. Sweetie's like, oh my goodness, you got one in there this morning. It's gonna take him out. Yep. Rob be like, yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Rob be like, yeah, I know I'm cute. Thank you. Michael, man, is just, I know you're trying to have fun, Michael, but don't, we're trying to keep it what it is. But you're right. But oh, this ain't my Tinder. This is a PhD for free, probably graduated from Costco. Oh my goodness. Oh no. All right. We're having a good time in here this morning. It's 50 degrees on the outside in the Atlanta metro Atlanta areas. We are holding at, can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen, 23 minutes past the hour. And let's go ahead and jump into a couple of topics. We're going to talk about Israel war this morning. It's True Crime Thursday, so we're going to be getting into true crime news stories and everything. And so we'll dive all into that coming up this morning. Plus, get you a little wrestling wrap up. And Ryan, I'll tell you, one of my favorite movies really are the Back to the Future trilogies. You asked that earlier, my friend. So I'm going to go get that to you. All right, let's jump into it. Let's see. Here's what's going on right quick. Killingworth Ridley Road reports in Atlanta. DeKalb County box truck crash there near exit 68. That's Wesley Chapel Road, left lane, up to about 17 minutes past the hour. Also in Atlanta, a crash at I-285 westbound right before Moreland Avenue, exit 53 in the right lane. Let's jump right into it. No traffic issues in Noonan on Bullsboro, Lower Fayetteville Road, or even on Bullsboro. Just on the lookout this morning, they're going to start traffic stops again. It's a thunder traffic stops as the state of Georgia is coming together with the Sheriff's Department, Georgia State Patrol, and Noonan Police Department. They're going to be stopping traffic from Bullsboro all the way down to 85 throughout the day to make sure you've got your seatbelts on, you're not on your phones, and, of course, not only that you're not driving over the speed limit. And so make sure you turn them blinkers on and do right. So that's going to happen today. Heading on to Interstate 85, nothing in Hogansville or Grantville. Lewisville looking good. LaGrange, Commerce Avenue, as well as New Franklin Road, all good. Going down the further to Interstate 85 southbound West Point, you get off the West Point exit. Construction still going on there. All good. Going further down, exit 79 in Alabama. It is construction going on for another 3 to 4 months. You go to 77 to get off. That's a look at traffic brought to you by Killingsworth Realty Report. What's up, Gail? How you doing this morning? She said it's selling. Rob. We don't. Rob might be older than you. How do you? Rob says, "Oh, I got to do this one. I got to do that one on the air." You actually got. All right, I got to do this one on the air. Let's look at traffic this morning. Rob's got another joke for us. We're going to do this. He said, "Why did the physics professor? Why did the physics? And get this right. Michael's going to make fun of me. It's all right. He can't." Physics professor. Why did the physics professor break up with the biology professor? There was no chemistry. Oh! Why did the computer science PhD student break up with his girlfriend? He said he needed more. Rob is girls. All right. Let's get into the poll question this morning. Murdoch movies and turn them into the Murdoch situation and turn them into movies. I think event will be the next Lifetime Movie Network movie. Well, shooting, 12% of you believe that. Covenant school shooting, 5% of you believe that. The Buffalo store shooting in Buffalo, New York, 12% of that. And then 50% of you like none of them. And you know what? I don't want none of them anyway. But since it's True Crime Thursday, I had to come up with a poll question, and I was noticing on the Lifetime Movie Network that did take in a lot of tragedies over the years, from Scott Peterson's to the recent one with the Murdoch murders of his wife and his son, the lawyer that ran South Carolina and all that kind of stuff. So I figured these tragedies that's happened in the last couple of years might be something they want to go do next. I mean, the school shooting could end up, of course, they're going to try to pit Christians against non-Christians in this situation because they want to make sure that they continue to fight people out here instead of trying to bring people together. You know, I'm not most networks and stuff because if it makes money, division is the best. Well, you know, why do you think in football, Alabama, Auburn football teams are divided things? Wrestlers, why do you think they do that? They want to divide people. So, you know, that one I would think would be more likely to be one out of the three that they would do. The Buffalo store shooting could be one where they could push the narrative of the Nazis' agenda in our country, which would be a let's say, educated view that we can learn that those people are wrong and they really don't have opinions. But that would also keep division going on. The Uvalde school shooting is sad. So those are the three that you have to choose from, including none of them this morning. So we appreciate you guys. All right, let's jump into it. We got a couple of things. Rob's got me tripping out. A couple of things to talk about here in the headline news before we head into any other things. We told you yesterday that Krispy Kreme Donuts announced that they're going to be partnering up with McDonald's to sell the freshest donuts daily. The new partnership is set to roll out later this year, all the way through 2016 to get every one of the McDonald's. Right now, Lexington, Kentucky and Louisville, Kentucky are the flagships going on with Krispy Kreme being sold there. Krispy Kreme and McDonald's. Coffee? Child endangerment charges filed last year against a New York nurse accused of mishandling a newborn infant in Long Island, New York, has been dropped on Monday, according to the nurse's lawyer. No further details on this story. 2 bodies found, Baltimore Bridge collapse recovery. Paul's to clear debris right now. We'll keep you abreast with that. Opening day with the major leagues. Yeah, the opening day in MLB. The Braves will not be playing the Phillies today because it's going to be raining in Philadelphia and everything. So I think that's where they're going to be playing because we're not supposed to see much rain here. But by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, the Braves have been rescheduled to take on the Phillies at 3:05. Check that out on Braves Country Radio Live. All right, other things that's going on, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk about Will Ospreay winning his first official match in AEW as a member of the roster of AEW and everything. So we'll get into that. Plus, some true crime news this morning. We're going to talk about the Ghost Face Gangsters. Oh, yeah, the Nazi punks. Yes, you make fun of them. You lay the smackdown on their candy asses and they cry. All right, a couple other newsworthy notes that you can read for yourself on the WQEE page. Baltimore's bridge collapse recalls lessons of years ago, a tragedy that happened decades ago in Florida. Russia to execute 32 Ukrainian POWs in the past 3 months. 2 bodies found, we told you, in the Baltimore bridge collapse as recovery continues, and clearing of the debris coming up. And Colombian Navy teams with the U.S. partners to seize 3 tons of cocaine and air chase. What? No, they would never. Nothing like that would happen. And Congress is continuing to disagree and fight and do things because it's easier to spread conspiracy theories amongst the uneducated than it is to actually tell people the truth. We're going to talk about Benjamin Nahu in just a few moments. Benjamin Nahu. I'm just kidding. I don't want everybody getting mad. I pick on everybody, okay? Sorry about your damn luck. It's the way it is. We'll talk about the Prime Minister of Israel and everything and what's going on over there and stuff with Israel at war after we take this short break here on the network, and you are tuned in to RyanORadio Penitentiary. We got people that are trying to mess with us. I guess he decided, since I wasn't going to let him cry, get on here and cry too much, and that everybody else took him out, so we leave. He didn't have time to mess with Rob, the man that can tell a joke better than anybody. All right, back in a moment. Which tragic event will be the next Lifetime Movie Network movie? The Uvalde school shooting, 12% of you believe that. The Covenant school shooting out of Tennessee, 25% of you believe that. The Buffalo store shooting, 12% of you believe that. And 50% of the votes, majority of you believe that none of them have. Well, we'll take a look at what's coming up. Won't you get away? You gotta get away. Back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
It's opening day for Major League Baseball, and those Braves and Phillies begin at 3:05 today. Here's your weather forecast on this Thursday. Some clouds.
Oh, I got to take that out.
Sunny skies, high near 66. North wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear and cool night. Light and variable winds. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies, high near 72. Light and variable winds with a cool and often mainly clear skies on Friday night. Low near 46. Sunny on Saturday with a few passing clouds from here and there. Great baseball weather. Southwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. For Saturday evening going into Saturday night, generally fair. Low near 53. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, mostly cloudy, high near 80. Winds light and variable, and low near 61 with cloudy skies. That's your active weather forecast on this Thursday. Brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Newnan. Active Pest Control offers the best services and prices to protect your home, offering both monthly and quarterly pest control services, plus specific services like bed bug, vermin roach, and flea control. Even if you can't see them, insects are all around you 24/7. Active Pest Control wants to be the first line of defense. Active Pest Control, repair, bomb, best termite coverage around. Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street, Newnan, 770-954-9941.
Hey, Arnold here from Cowie the Force. Cowie the Force is Newman's own addiction recovery Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowetaforce.org.
All right, we're coming back. Get into a little bit more news and talking. Tomorrow we'll get into the scary world of the eclipse again. We might get into it today.
As a certified tactical self-defense instructor, I'm specializing in women's self-defense. All women of all ages have the ability to learn how to defend themselves effectively with technical drills.
Here we go.
Classes and private webinars are available. Learn today to have a safer tomorrow. WarRadioCenters.com.
Hey, sports fans, weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show. Back McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Here we go. Coming back.
The Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
What? Oh, yeah. You are saved by the bell. Come on back in out of the penalty box, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. All I got to say is welcome back in to the most electrifying radio show around, because since we are the RyanORadio Penitentiary, we're going to give you some shock therapy this morning. We'll do shock therapy. And it's always shocking. It's True Crime Thursday. We'll talk about Nazi gangsters with the jail. Poor guy. He went to jail for stealing things from somebody that owed him money. I can't believe he got a motorcycle. He's a piece of trash. Yes, I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. Actually, I'm not. I'm done with being sorry, with hurting, people that are real crooks and real low life's feelings. While the rest of us out here have to fight because and disagree because of the disagreements that go on in this world. Yeah. All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about what big disagreement that most Americans don't even know about. You got people on both sides of the so-called opinions of this war in Israel going on in America. They don't even know what's going on. This war's been going on for years. Our government right now is on the side of Israel, but also calling for a ceasefire and wanting to drop humanitarian aid to the people in Palestine. So we are doing what is right. This war's been going on forever. We don't know anything about these people's different opinions and stuff. We can't say that everybody should be like me in my opinion on it. My opinion is right. No, your opinion is wrong. No, it ain't, man. I should talk about it. Yep. Every major citizen is made. Every major decision on politics in the world is made at a Waffle House, right? All right. Anyway, the Prime Minister of Israel told U.S. Delegates in Israel that the victory in the war against Hamas was only a few weeks away. Okay. And they have no choice but to launch ground official attacks. Since at least last month, Israel planned to advance into southern Gaza, and where hundreds and thousands of Palestinians have sought refuge from their massive displacement during this war. The plan, though, has risen a lot of international concerns, with the United Nations High Commissioner of Human Rights stating earlier this month that the campaign will have massive loss of life and will heighten the risk of further crimes in the city. Wow. U.S. President Joe Biden, who earlier in the war effort supported Israel, has been skeptic of the offense and has told Netanyahu over the phone that he has deep concerns over it. On Monday, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin told his Israel counterpart at the Pentagon that they would help them find an alternative way to full-scale and perhaps military operations. And they've been speaking and talking about this for a while, trying to get this. See, they're working with them. They're staying with our allies. They don't want more people displaced. Yes, right is right. Wrong is wrong. People can say what they want to say. But you got people out here that are sitting in their homes out in the middle of nowhere thinking everybody needs to go to war because their opinion's not being sought out in media, which is like radio media and everything. Just like one of my listeners earlier was like, don't say this here, but here. He understood that there are certain things you just cannot say. So if he understood that, everybody understands that. All right, but anyway, well, most of my listeners are educated, so they understand things anyway. But still, speaking to the U.S. delegates on Wednesday at his office in Jerusalem, Netanyahu stated that Israel has no choice but to continue to achieve this victory, which defines the destruction of Hamas's military and government capabilities in Gaza and the release of all the Israel hostages that they're looking for from Iran. And they also assure that the Palestinians will never pose a threat to Israel again in the death of Hamas's leaders. He says that's victory as he tapped the table before him. Victory within reach. It's a few weeks away. Netanyahu had this to say. See if I can pull up what he had to say. If they can. Exactly. Okay. He sounds good. Right. Wow. Behind him is a flag of Israel and an American flag in this that we're listening to over the air. So he appreciates Biden. I can understand this. All right. That's a complete rundown of that. You can check it out on the WQEE page. The whole video is on there for you, where Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, is speaking about this, the partnership with the United States, and more on what they have to do, being very elegant at this time. All right, we're 15 minutes away from the top of the hour. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're holding at, can you believe it? Hold back. Hold on. Did I tell you it's 50 degrees out there? Your top of temperature brought to you this hour by Southern States Bank. Southern States Bank. Brand new sponsor. Southern States Bank, right here in the metro area, Noonan and Atlanta, all over East Alabama and West Georgia, is the place to be. Your Noonan location's at 20 Oak Hill Boulevard here in Noonan, and we're inviting you out to have a great banking experience. That's right. Personal checking, as well as common sense banking and banking with businesses. Southern States Bank is 470-400-3411. Southern States Bank. We have a couple of different locations in Carrollton as well as Noonan, right around our neck of the woods. Bringing you a look at the time and temperature. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got a couple other things to talk about. You're into RyanORadio Penitentiary, bringing you the news that is the news of what's the news, and not getting into all this other things that's not. We'll continue to move forward with more news for you as we got some true crime news stories to kick off next hour. We'll get into that. Got to make fun of the Ghost Face Gangsters, as I always will. They're dominant in the Troup County area of LaGrange. And it's very unusual that they are there, to me. And because of the domination of a majority of an African-American community in Troup County, the dangers of them being attacked. This is why a lot of people have moved out of Noonan. I'm not Noonan, LaGrange, Georgia. Sorry, Noonan. We don't play that. We got the cops all over today. We don't play that up here. You might get a little mad about pulling it over and giving you a ticket, but we don't play this other stuff here. We'll talk about that coming up in the next period, and a few other headline news in the true crime expert news and the world. And I'm going to talk a little bit about probably the dark side of the ring, either today or tomorrow. I don't know. We got sports news to come this morning. The Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans are kicking off the preseason, and we'll tell you how that goes. And today is Major League Baseball opening day. West Coast teams are playing. East Coast, a few East Coast teams have their scheduled for Friday. Opening day. Some of you took the day off just for today, didn't you? Didn't you? You know you did. Back in a moment. Stay with us more on the way. As the RyanORadio Penitentiary cruises on. Good morning to everybody tuning in. Thank you. I appreciate that, Gail. You share me amongst all your friends. I know that they're good people. Even if we wouldn't agree, I know they're still good people. And I'm not saying we wouldn't, but I'm just saying, even if we didn't, I know they're good people, the people that's your friends. Because mostly Southern people are. I don't like so-and-so, but I still love them. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just we still have those love feelings. I don't know. I know what it is. Actually, I know what it is. Yeah. God, to get on this. Like, Southern people, you know, you've been following me forever. I expect you to love one. I know you can argue, but I expect you to love one.
6 days a week, no vacation. The last straw came when Bethlehem fired over 1,000 workers. Bethlehem claimed these particular workers damaged coke.
My poll question on this True Crime Thursday is kind of a unique one. What's up, Steve? From Buffalo, New York. How you doing, Steve, my friend? I hope you're doing fabulous and fantastic on this morning. That is a beautiful morning where you're at, where I'm at. It's Major League Baseball opening day if you're into baseball. If you're into wrestling, we'll talk about WrestleMania next week. We've got some headline news for you. No destruction of the world here, though. I don't want to, like, you know, we're all about everybody. But guys, my poll question, the only reason I'm asking it is Lifetime Movie Network does a lot of movies over a lot of tragedies, including the Murdaugh murders in South Carolina. So I'm kind of seeing, I put these three in there, but I'm in the camp of none of them should be made into movies. That's just my opinion. I think it would just divide us. Many are rockers like metalheads like us. Oh, okay. Well, then they're just going to lay back. Most of them are going to be asleep then. You know how most metalheads are. They're sleeping time. Like that, gum Gil, you're waking me up. That's one thing I don't want to do is wake a metalhead up from his nap or her nap. Are there good deep sleep? Like, what are you doing? I know, man. And you know what? I believe that's why I like just giving the news out there and not getting too much into it. Unless it's something that 99% of us can agree on, which is I'll get into, talking about things that 99% of us agree on. But they like to politicize things. And I bet you, I totally believe, I got friends that live in New York, Long Island, and everything. I totally believe that those communities are not as divided as they try to present it to us. And I'm sure you guys are getting back and healing with each other there too. Now, I just want to make sure I'm right, because I know they named them the Buffalo Bills. Now, it's Buffalo Bills in your city. So I just want to make sure. Or did they put them somewhere else? Like the New York Jets are out of Jersey. Hell no, he says. No Buffalo Bills. All right. I figured that. I just wanted to make sure I was right before I say anything before I sit there and make myself like an idiot. Well, you're from New York, so you got to be the Buffalo Bills. I didn't want to say that. That's what I thought, Steve. But I just want to make sure that I was right, and something I knew or thinking, well, that might have been an old Wikipedia page that says that's where they were, and I get it wrong, and you go, no, dummy, they're here. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. We'll get into true crime. It's True Crime Thursday coming up for you in the next period, ladies and germs. We'll dive into true crime news stories. Steve C is on with us from Buffalo, New York, and it's kind of fitting. And Gail's on with us from Tennessee, so it's kind of fitting on our poll question. And the reason I'm doing this poll question is True Crime Thursday, first of all, and second of all, Lifetime Movie Network, which a lot of people watch for entertainment purposes and everything. Lifetime Movie Network produces movies about tragedies. You go all the way back. Lifetime did the Scott Peterson story. Dean Cain played, what was the guy? Wasn't it Scott Peterson? I think so. Yeah. The former Superman. But then you had recently the Murdaugh murders, the South Carolina lawyer that was accused and charged with murdering his wife and son. They did a 2-part series, which was 4-hour movie basically on him. And they've got a lot of Lifetime movies. So the reason I'm asking this question this morning, and the reason I'm leading all this up to this is I'm asking this question this morning, which I'm in the camp of the final one I'm going to ask you, which is I don't think none of them should be made. That's just the way I feel, because I feel like it's going to present a more division rather than education. And if we can educate everybody, that's one thing, but it's not. Which tragic event will be the next Lifetime Movie Network movie? Uvalde school shootings, 9% of you. Covenant school shootings, 18% of you. Buffalo store shooting, 18% of you. And 55% of you agreeing with me, none of them. What's your thoughts on all the mass shootings in America? I believe that it's a terrible situation. And I don't just blame mental health issues, because we do have a lot of mental health issues out there, and a lot of people are not getting proper care. That's one thing. Some people are able to obtain guns without having to do like most of us, most of my friends, I'm not a gun guy, but most of my friends that have guns and I'm telling you right now, family, I'm telling you that I know what they go through. God almighty, you can get a car financed quicker in 2 days than you can get a gun anymore. But anyway, I'm not going to blame it on the guns and that. I'm going to blame it on the division of people out here in the media, whether it's the left and the right side arguing, or some politicians arguing to enrage people on both sides to make them disagree and go, no, you're going to take my guns, or no, all guns are evil, and in reality, if we sat down and talked about this stuff, we can, that's what it is. I blame it on big mouths saying things and dividing people. That's my biggest thoughts. And also, I do think we have a mental health issue in our country. That's a big part of it. You got people, because you got to think of Generation X and above going to a therapist. Man, they're saying I'm crazy if I go to a therapist. You see what I'm saying? Instead of getting the help that's needed by some of these people and some of these young people that need the help, that's what it is. It's tragic that I think some of this stuff could be stopped. I think that some of this stuff could be trained. I think lockdowns of schools and stores. But I really think that the biggest thing has to do with people continuing to spread lies and gossips on the internet and pushing. Majority of these people that go out and do all this shooting are sitting there on the dark web or on the internet reading something saying that you're the good guy and all these people are bad guys. And then they got a mental health issue on top of that. So I blame it on media, social media, and everything. And I feel like it's my job as a person in the media to try to present something without making you or someone else angry. Of course, we'll have people to have fun and make fun and come on here and pick on me and all that kind of thing. I don't care about all that. But when we get to a serious subject, we have to kind of start working together. And as a media person for 20 years, it's an embarrassment that social media has gone down a rabbit hole to make you think that your neighbor don't like you when you actually probably agree on 99% of everything except for who you probably vote for. Yes, exactly. The media definitely destroys the minds of their viewers. It's never as bad as they put the story out to be, as I learned firsthand. Thank you, Steve. Steve in Buffalo, New York, where that Buffalo store shooting happened. So, and everything. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got period number 2 coming up for you. True crime continues. And yeah, that's just my thoughts. I think that social media down the rabbit hole, I think that it's a responsibility of us to try. And hopefully I can build the YouTube page up. We got 50,000 plus listeners worldwide on our streams. I'm hoping to build the YouTube page up to where we can start it, getting even more people on so they can see that there's actually an alternative to everything out there. Back in a moment. And it's bad that people have to go, Steve, it's bad people have to go through stuff like that, to see stuff firsthand, to go, to go, it's not, the story is not as bad as they're trying to present it. But, that's what they got to do. They got to make it so people watch. You got 100 different news networks now on both sides of the aisle, 24/7. News used to just come on 2 or 3 times a day, and they had majority of the same news. If we went back to the concept of news just being news, none of these networks would make money. None of the people on the internet would make money. None of the people on the internet would have, how you say it, followers and stuff. Did that, guys? I'm sorry. I had to get something off my page. Yeah, and people don't. There's a lot of people in my family and friends and everybody that don't understand how, since I've been doing this forever, don't understand how do I say this? My disdain for all the stuff that's put out there. I could get on here and just start up a fight and either call Biden names or call Trump names and have 1 million different people on here, and then calling them names and cussing them out and calling them retarded and saying you're this and you're that. And it would easily quickly build up. But I don't, as a real media person, and what I was taught when I came into this business, it disgusts me that the media went from telling you the news and what is going on, and the social media as well as part of it, a big part of the dark web stuff, went from that to let's just entertain these people and make them mad at one another. And when you're an independent like I am, and you talk to people on both sides of the aisle, 99% of everybody has the same thought. It's just that this side likes Trump and this side likes Biden. That's it. And they don't really hate the other. If you really get down to the nitty gritty, they don't really hate the other person. They just disagree with the other person's choice. But the social media and the mainstream media and all that got you believing that they're out after you. So that's a lot of people ask, well, why you get 11 at times on here, you get 10, you don't have 1 million people following you and watching you every day. I'm like, well, Jesus only had 12 people follow him. And I'm not comparing myself to Jesus because I don't like that. I would never do that. That's not what I'm saying. Forgive me. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that he only had a few follow him. So I'll take what I can get for right now as it grows. But I got 50,000 plus on the Shoutcast, so it's all good. But I get people ask that question all the time. I'm like, look, we're just trying to build this up on the YouTube pages. It's not been something I was working on. We got other things to go on. But I got new stuff on account there. I got choice hotels coming. So obviously, we're doing something right. So I think people will like that kind of thing. So. And the reason I'm explaining this is there's going to be people who watch this later because I get millions of views afterwards. I guess people want me on in the afternoons, not in the mornings. But I'll go back and I'll check all that and I'll be like, wow, that's way more people than I thought. How come it went down from 25 votes to 11 votes? I'll just have to add YouTube. All right, here we go. Walking down the street. We're getting ready to go back. Go back. Matt McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks, weekdays.
Sunday at 9:30 a.m. right here on WQEE. We help those who are struggling with their faith or have doubts through discussion, inspirational stories, and contemporary Christian music. So tune in to Let Go and Let God Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m.
No, I didn't want that one.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its
Wow. Oh, don't cry. Yeah. Sing it, Cleveland. All right, Peter. Oh, yeah. Quagmire? Joe, come down, buddy. You guys don't hear it over there. We are still going there, Stewie. I appreciate that. For those of you who didn't hear it on the YouTube page, I've got an intro with the Family Guy guys. All right, coming up this hour, we're going to get some headline news for you, true crime news to begin in the middle part of this hour. We got a lot to talk about. Stay with us, and our poll question is up pretty kind of serious. So stay with us as we kick it off in part 2 and segment 2. You know who I am? I'm RyanORadio Penitentiary host, Ryan O'Neal, and of course, tell them, Triple H, I am the game with 50,000 plus of you worldwide over the Shoutcast. Shout it out loud. Across that RyanORadio media page. Earth, Rock, Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. That's 25 different radio stations, including real radio and internet we're on out there. We're across the British Columbia, Isles of Canada, and finally, the Jordan Communication and Family radio stations, East Alabama, West Georgia, including right here in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta's very own 99.1 FM, WQEE the Key, home of Southern sports, inspirational talk, headline news, and the RyanORadio Penitentiary. You're in lockdown with me. I'm in lockdown with you. It's time to wake you up. And all my haters, as all I got to do is say one thing. Listen up. Whether they like it or not, I'm the man around here. I like doing that intro. It's just a fun thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a fun thing. Welcome everybody into RyanORadio Penitentiary, period number 2 underway at about 9 minutes past the hour, 50 degrees under cloudy skies. With your time and temperature this hour being brought to you by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those rodents, critters, the groovy things all. Mike and the group can exterminate and lay the smack down for you. That's right. They take care of my home and they can take care of yours. We appreciate everybody tuning in all over from New York to Chicago to Illinois to Idaho, Iowa, California, all over Georgia, Alabama, live everywhere. I'm everywhere, man. And, of course, got people coming on and off the YouTube page. And they go back and they check out my YouTube page later on. I'm glad I was able to answer Steve's questions. Want to appreciate that question. We always have good questions from the audience. And, I kind of look at some of the things. We're going to talk about some headline news this hour, plus getting ready for some true crime news. But our poll question this morning has to do with Lifetime Movie Network. They always do movies about tragedies that happened recently. They did the movie. Of course, they did the movie, the Vicky White story of the police officer who got the white prisoner out, and they took off, and she ended up dying, all that kind of stuff over in Indiana. They did the Murdaugh murders. So which tragic event will be the next Lifetime Movie Network movie, Lifetime movie? Will it be the Uvalde school shooting? 9% of you say maybe. Covenant school shooting up in Tennessee, 18% of you say that. Buffalo store shooting in Buffalo, New York, 18% of you say that. And then 55% of you, kind of like me, I don't want none of them, okay? I don't want them to put any of that on there because it'll continue the division, and if we're going to tell a story from both sides, we tell a story from both sides. We tell the story from people being conned into believing stuff online and everything, and as long as somebody's telling the truth, you're only going to have a few people that want to hear the truth. The majority of the people out there are falling into lies. And I'm glad that, like Steve from Buffalo said, he's seeing how it wasn't as bad, but firsthand how bad that they make it on the media and online and stuff. So it really is. And television and radio and everything was never meant. News was only meant to be 2 or 3 minutes on the radio, only meant to be 30 minutes on television, and it was never meant to be entertaining. It was meant to be from journalists that was bringing you things, whether the person they voted for in the White House was in the White House or not. It was not, my gosh, good guy and your guy's the bad guy. It wasn't, all these shootings are going on because everybody's crazy and they're shooting everybody. It's all gun's fault, or it's all mental health's fault, or they're coming to take your guns, or all those gun lovers are evil. It was none of that stuff ever. Okay. And when social media, YouTube started, it was fun little cat videos and stuff like that. It was never meant to take it as far as most of the media has. And as a person that's been in this business for 20-something years, I'm sorry. I know this pisses some people off, but actually, I'm not sorry. And I told this off the air to my listeners on the YouTube, and I'm going to tell it to all the other people listening. I take what I do serious. That's why I try to stay within the concept of what we're talking about and the news source that I get. I go and I give what happened in Baltimore as a news source. I don't give, hey, it's an attack on the freedom because it's Francis Scott Key Bridge. It's this, it's that. I don't get into conspiracy theories, and people that believe in conspiracy theories are saying, and conspiracy theory people saying, everything we're saying is true. No. Conspiracy theories used to be fun stuff for anybody ever over whether or not John believed in Bigfoot and Joe didn't in the family. I don't believe they ever pushed the envelope with one another. So, and so I just feel like that. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it, brother. I just feel like that we have to present. I have to present what I have to present and try to get it to the right ears out there, because I'm hoping that eventually we can take the media back to what it was. We can get rid of the social media. It's not the people that are trolls that are on here saying things. The trolls are the people that are hosting these programs that's dividing you. Those are trolls. And they want to call people trolls because they disagree with each other and cause people to get angry. I don't want people to get on here and get angry. If they want to have fun, that's one thing. If they want to make fun of me, that's one thing. I don't care, but, or if they want to make fun of each other, they want to have fun in the feed, that's fine. I don't care. But I don't want people thinking that, like I said, 99% of the people out there that I meet that are independents, Democratic voters, Republican voters, they all have the same feelings if they're all equal and unequal jobs. Middle class people all have the same feelings whether they're vote whatever. They don't hate each other like the media and social media tries to present that they hate each other. You have a bunch of people to get on there and say things because they just like to say things. You got that, everybody's got that uncle that comes to Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner that says things, and everybody, Uncle Leroy again is here. We love him. But Uncle Leroy's got some outrageous thoughts. Well, just let him talk. Okay. And that's pretty much how we should be for a lot of this stuff. But what I'm trying to say is we don't need that 99% of the people all that I meet and speak. The only thing they disagree on is who they're voting for. And they really don't hate their neighbor the way the media tries to present. Oh, they're coming to take everything away from you. You're the good guy. They're the bad guy. They're communists. Oh, no. They're fascists. Oh, no. Neither side is that. That's just words, clickbait words that's used by people to make their channels grow faster. I could do the same thing on this channel. I can sit here and call all Trump supporters fascist, or get on here and call all people that are liberals communists, and just build it up from there if I wanted to. But I don't believe that about either side. So I believe there's a little something on each side that I disagree with personally, but I don't believe that these people over here are fascists and these people over here are communists. I really don't. So the media presents that, the social media presents that. And I don't hate to say this, but this is what disgusts me. And people don't understand. When you're a one-man operation in a broadcast company in Atlanta, Georgia, and you're competing against people, have a group of people, and you're working hard, and you're pushing things, and you're trying to do what's right for everybody, it's hard in this business. It's hard to be in a business when you're trying to do what's right for everybody. Because that's how you were taught when you were first initiated into this business. And then you sit there and you see all these people just doing whatever they want to do. And people, well, what I say is true. Well, not 100% of everything, or not 100% of everything you say is true. And not 100% of everything you say is not true. You know, but after getting out here and interviewing and walking amongst everybody, it's just like, wow, man, you know, this person's not a communist. They just want to do what Jesus wants. They want to help people out. They want to help the homeless out. This person's not a fascist. They just love their country. Okay. And the media is not going to do that. They want to continue to divide. That's why you're going to have I'm going to use the people that are successful, in my opinion, the Sean Hannitys, the Don Lemons, the Tucker Carlsons as examples, rather than the conspiracy nuts all over, which are more successful than them for some reason. I don't know. But I'm just saying, they have their opinions, they stick to their sides, and they push their agendas. And like Steve said, it wasn't as bad there as people thought it was with the shoot. This is the problem in your community. You got to think, you got to start in your community. Remember, treat one another with the utmost respect. Like I said, if somebody is wanting to help somebody out and they want to take them in and they want to do something for them, and they want to make sure that this person is not 100%, their mind's not 100%, and they want to make sure that person is taken care of. Who cares? The taxes are going to help take care of them. That's not a communist. If somebody is proud of their country and they serve their country and they call themselves a patriot, they're not a fascist. Okay, just want to say that. So maybe I'm going to make a lot of people mad, but there's going to be a lot more people who like what I say. So that's all I was going to say about that. Thank you, Steve, for bringing that up for me. And I had to put that out there. Now I got that off my chest. I feel like a big heavy load is off, and I can continue to move forward with working and pushing the radio station's independent agenda for everyone. So, yeah. All right. Here's a couple of news stories that you need to know about. You can read for yourself. This is what I do. You can check it out on the WQEE. Subscribe to that page. Follow, subscribe to the YouTube page and everything. And here's what's going on that you can read for yourself. Victory in Gaza only weeks away, says Netanyahu. On this day in history, the P.T. Barnum and James A. Bailey merged together to form the greatest show on earth. And March 28th, 1881. That's cool, right? California man sentenced to 11 months over threatening Nancy Pelosi's husband. A California man has been sentenced to nearly a year in prison for making not to her husband, but to Nancy Pelosi herself, threatening Nancy Pelosi and the Homeland Security Secretary as well, according to federal prosecutors. U.S. offers $10 million reward for information on United Health hackers. That's $10 million reward to identify the Black Cat ransomware group that attacked a U.S. insurance known as United Healthcare Group back last month. Wow. Man, this is just coming out today of light. Former Republican presidential candidate Chris Christie has turned down what calls no labels third party United Ticket, a group that searches for candidates to run against both the current candidates that are running in November. So you can read those. It's opening day for Major League Baseball. Some teams are not playing until tomorrow. The Braves and the Phillies were supposed to play today, but a rain is going to be in the forecast to keep that game from starting. The first game of the season for the Braves and Braves country, because we are Braves country in Atlanta, will be tomorrow, 3:05 p.m. with Braves Country Radio, Matt McGee, and them armchair quarterbacks. Follow him all season long for all the Atlanta Braves games. Now, let me tell you, he don't just do Braves games. If he's got one that's kind of up there, he did the Dodgers and the San Diego 2 mornings in a row. We played it right here on the network because I was like, look, I can take the morning off. Actually, I didn't take the whole morning off, but actually, I think it was one morning I did it. But does a great job. So there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. Pop in another news feed in the back. Nobel Prize winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman dies at age 90. No, he's not a con man. It's just con and man. Also in other news, California mountain lion attacks leaves one person dead, one severely injured. Police release videos of images of child abuse from a YouTuber, Frankie. Yeah, those YouTubers, you got to trust them. Those influencers, yeah. We talked about the Baltimore bridge collapse, recalls lessons from decades ago, what happened in Florida. Russia executed 2 Ukraine POWs in the past 3 months, according to the UN. And Colombian Navy teams with the U.S. partners up to seize 3 tons of cocaine after water and air collision happened. What? Check those news stories out for you this morning. And other news, let me make sure I got everything before we get into our true crime stories. I want to make sure I got all that you need to know. The Chicago Bears, in some sports news, will be playing the Houston Texans this preseason in NFL action for the annual Hall of Fame game August 1st. It's going to be in Canton, Ohio. Pro Football Hall of Famer announced this on Tuesday. The game is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NFL teams have approved a new major kickoff rule change. You've been hearing about this. There you go. The Diamondbacks agreed to a 1-year deal with left-handed pitcher Jordan Montgomery. He's getting up to $25 million. Not very much in the major leagues, but that's a lot of money for me and you probably. The 31-year-old spent the last season between St. Louis and Texas. So there you go. I'm going to talk about a Florida deputy's finding a snake under a hood in just a few. But that is some headline news for you. And I wanted to get that out of the way. 25 minutes past the hour. We're currently holding, can you believe it, at 51 degrees in the metro Atlanta areas. Cool on the outside, under kind of cloudy skies out there. Your time and temperature this hour, all this time brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things all. Mike and the crew can exterminate and lay the smack down for you. Hello, my lovely bride. Andrea Polanis is on with us under her other assumed name, her alternative name. There you go. She's got 2 alternatives. She's got 3 alternative names. She's got her birth name, her married name, and the name that God gave her, which is the most important one. I do. I say that. All right. Which tragedy? You know, LMN is doing movies about tragedies and so much. And since this is True Crime Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking this question. Which tragic event will be the next Lifetime movie or Lifetime Movie Network movie? Will it be the Uvalde school shooting that happened in Uvalde, Texas, at a school? 8% of you say yes. Covenant school shooting, where I say that there's always there was a possession in that person that did that. In Tennessee, 23% of you say that. The Buffalo School, the media kind of made it more out than what it was. 15% of you say that. And 54% say none of them. And I would say none of them in this situation. If you're not going to have historic events and tell the story from all sides and show how dangerous social media is to all these shootings involved dangerous social media. It didn't involve people not liking somebody in the real world or saying something in the real world. It had to do with social media and media destroying these people to cause these events to happen. Didn't have anything to do with gun laws, people carrying guns, criminals being able to get guns easy. Mental health issues was a big part of it. It had to do with, like I said, media overplaying everything and social media convincing people you're right and everybody else is wrong. Woo! No, that's why I'm fighting hard on this network to keep it down the middle as best I can. Anyway, there you go. We're going to take a break. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we get the second half of the second period underway with some true crime news. And I'll give you a little update on what happened on Dynamite last night. Will Ospreay finally made his debut official interview for AEW under an AEW contract. We'll talk about some of the things that happened last night. Thank God I didn't have to watch it, but yeah, there's some stuff I'm not much into on that show. But we'll talk about that, plus some true crime news. We'll talk about the Ghost Face Gangsters, the Nazi influence group out of Troup County. One of their members has been sentenced to prison. We'll tell you what's going on there in the Georgia area and all around the country with some true crime news. Back in a moment.
It's opening day for Major League Baseball, and those Braves and Phillies begin at 3:05 today.
Nope, I got to redo that.
Some clouds today, giving away to mainly sunny.
I expected them to.
Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear to cool.
All right, let's pull this up.
Light and variable winds. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies, high near 72. Light and variable winds with a cool and often mainly clear skies on Friday night, low near 46. Sunny on Saturday.
Wow.
Passing clouds from here.
Wow.
Great baseball weather. Southwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. For Saturday evening going into Saturday night, generally fair. Low near 53. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, mostly cloudy, high near 80. Winds light and variable.
I am in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta area. Yes, on the radio, Steve. Yes, sir.
Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Newness. Active Pest Control offers the best services and prices to protect your home. Offering both monthly and quarterly pest control services, plus specific services like bed bug, only roads, and flea control.
I'm cool. Thank you, my lovely bride.
Active Pest Control is the first line of defense. Active Pest Control, repair, bond, best termite coverage around. Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street, Newness. 772.
But if there's a New York radio station that wants the show, tell them to call me. I can use that money. I have more Dooney and Burke purses to buy. Not for me, but for the wife. I know we got somebody on here named Michael that was on here earlier trying. And it wasn't Michael from Active Pest Control. All right, we're getting ready to go on. This Prime right here is doing good. I wish I could get Prime to be a sponsor. We got 2 new big sponsors coming up. No, Michael Myers don't talk, so he wouldn't have did that to me. So.
Hi, Lisa Wolf to tell you that the 5-hour Hollywood 60 show and the 30-minute Radio Rarities podcast can be emailed to you every Monday via digital download link that never expires.
Oh, thank you.
24 classic.
People are liking stuff on the Facebook page. People are watching through the Facebook too. They just being able to
Hollywood 360 and Radio Rarities.
say things.
Visit Hollywood 360.
And they've been sharing the show, so there you go.
That's Hollywood 360 Radio.
I come back and check my analytics at the end of the day, and I'm like, wow, there's way more people than it was when I was live.
Dodgers signed catcher Will Smith to a 10-year deal worth $140 million. Sweet 16 tips off tonight with 4 games on tap from Boston and LA, starting with number 2 Arizona against 16 Clemson. Jalen Green dropped in a game-high 37 to help the Rockets knock out the Thunder in overtime for their 10th straight win. Draymond Green tossed 4 minutes into the game for disputing a foul call with the Warriors at the win of the Magic. The Knicks torched the Raptors by 44. Hornets beat the Cavs to snap their 5-game slide. Knicks now sit third in the East at 44-28. The Panthers signed veteran pass rusher Jadeveon Clowney to a 2-year deal that could be worth up to $24 million.
Here we go. We're coming back.
NBC News Radio.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Commando of the 45's Affair radio show, where I play all vinyl 45s. You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, Newton, Georgia.
Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. What's up, sports nuts and inmates? We're about 33 minutes past the hour. That's right. Current temperature is now 52 degrees under kind of cloudy, semi-cloudy skies out there in the Atlanta, metro Atlanta areas. This time and temperature brought to you by Southern States Bank, where banking is done right. Southern States Bank, 470-3411. Personal checking, common sense checking. Southern States Bank has a full services and more. Located at one of your favorite locations, 20 Oak Hill Boulevard here in Newnan. Also in Carrollton, Georgia as well, and across the Alabama line in Roanoke. Southern States Bank, personal checking banking made easy. Bring you a look at your time and temperature. All right, let's jump right back into it. It's time for true crime news, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to dive into some true crime news stories from across the country. We're going to go to California, Arizona, everywhere you need to be. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. We're going to talk about a former Florida teacher convicted of drugging and sexually abusing a foreign exchange student. This is getting more ridiculous than ever before. And the cool thing that some people think, well, I wish my teacher would do that to me. So you wish you would have been molested as a child? Oh, that's really cool, Kat. But first, we're going to talk about Troup County and Coweta County coming together. Speaking of Coweta County, today in Coweta County, going from Bullsboro all the way down to 85, all the way through there, there's going to be Georgia State Patrol, Coweta County Sheriff's Departments, Newnan Police Department. They're going to be checking to see if you guys got your seatbelts on, if you guys are driving right, if you're not on your phone, playing on your phone, talking on your phone, doing what you should not be doing, and driving over the speed limit, because they are checking for safety measures. And the Georgia Highway Safety and Traffic Safety, Georgia Highway Traffic Safety is conducting this as of yesterday and today. So be out there as you head into town on the lookout for doing what's right. If you don't get pulled over, then you done something right. If you do get a ticket, then don't be mad at them. They're just doing their jobs. They really probably don't honestly want to give you a ticket, but it's their job to make sure you stay safe. You know, nobody would like to have to do something that's going to be negative. Just want to make sure you make it from point A to point B, back to point A, safe. All right. Speaking of that, let's talk about Coweta County right quick. Troup County news, Coweta County, a 41-year-old man by the name of Joshua Nutt. He's a nut. He'll spend the rest of his life behind bars. He was recently found guilty of killing not one but two victims when he tried to collect money from them back in 2021. They owed him money. He went and stole their motorcycle, by the way, to get their money. He killed them and took it. Like, all right, you're dead. I killed you. Well, he's known for being part of this imaginary wannabe badasses known as the Ghost Face Gangsters. It's a white Nazi group. Started out in California and made its way into Georgia and became relevant in LaGrange, Georgia area. Well, Coweta County District Attorney is charging this man with these murders. I guess they had something to do with closer to us. Coweta County District Attorney says that the jury convicted Nutt. At Nutt's sentencing, prosecutors revealed that the defendant was associated with the Ghost Face Gangsters, a violent and notorious statewide prison and street gang. The organization is the largest white supremacist prison gang across the Georgia, especially Troup County and LaGrange. It started in California in the 1970s. I told you he killed two men and how they found him once they ended up finding the motorcycle at his home. I got to talk about this. I know it's going to make some white supremacists mad, but I don't care. This is a white supremacist evil person that's shooting people. Okay? This is somebody that joined a gang and had everything handed to him. While you're out there working your tail off to get what you get, to try to be good to one another, to try to not let the media and social media, especially under the dark web media, divide you. People like this are out here not caring about anything going on in the world except for themselves. And somebody owes him some money. He went and killed these people and ended up stealing their motorcycles. And this is how it came about. They found it. And he was just like, whatever, they owed me. It was just like, to him, taking their lives didn't mean anything. And, of course, they were all the same pigment and everything. So, but this is a dangerous group. It's took over this area known as LaGrange, Georgia, which is mostly dominated by a large percentage of African-American residents. And this group took over, and that's where all the violence has been coming in the area, with the fighting and shooting and stuff in that area. And look, this is not the first time somebody's messed over in Coweta County. And Coweta County don't play. We go back to Sheriff Lamar Potts back in the 40s and 50s. You guys, if you ever seen Killing or something in Coweta County, Murder in Coweta County is the name of it. That's where a Merriweather so-called businessman and moonshiner and man that run a whole town there in Merriweather County, John Wallace, was convicted of murdering a former employee that supposedly stole two of his cows to get money back because he was selling moonshine on the side, and the guy, Wallace, took his money from this guy, beat him up and everything. And Sheriff Lamar Potts was the one that arrested him and put him away. And of course, he was tried in Coweta County. So you're not going to get away with it in Coweta County. I know people don't want to hear that, but they don't. And it was probably the first in history back then that two African-American men in that day were called as witnesses against John Wallace. Now, the point is, the Ghost Face Gangsters are not going to be able to make their way into a place like Coweta County without Coweta County shutting them down. If you drive through Coweta County today from Bullsboro all the way to 85 and through town to go anywhere, you're going to see there's no way anything like that's going to happen. And this is just for safety checks. So, wow. It's amazing how some people are. You know, and I know that's why I know some people that have moved out of the LaGrange area that lived there for years, because it's so dangerous now, much more dangerous than it was before. And I can understand I want to live there, but hey. So I want to get that one of the top stories out today. We're about 20 minutes away from the top of the hour. Still on at 52 degrees. Temperature this time brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those runners, quitters. Arguing things at all. Michael the Crew can exterminate and lay the smack down for you. All right. We're going to talk about a former Florida teacher convicted of drugging and sexually abusing a foreign exchange student after the break. But first, I want to get this news story out of the way. An elderly abuse investigation in California led to the recent arrest of not one but two people after police reportedly found 4 kids living in a home filled with disgusting measures. I'm not going to even say what it is. Monday, March 25th, about 5 p.m. approximately, officers received a call from a medical center after a 52-year-old woman was brought there in medical distress. Further investigation revealed that one of the victim's adult daughters allegedly cared for the woman. Officers reported to the home on North Garden Street when the 52-year-old victim had been staying. According to the police, when they went and searched the residence, the 34-year-old Cecilia Rodriguez and 61-year-old Gregory Chavez, also with other 4 children from ages 4 to 15, were found there. Police looked at the living conditions as horrendous. A lot of other things was throughout the home that you would not have throughout your home. And I'm not going to say because it's breakfast time for some of you. Police did arrest both and charged them elderly abuse, child neglect, and abuse. Glad that somebody was taken care of that way. Disgusting things that people are doing. We're going to have our Dumb Crook of the Day still to come, so stay tuned for that. That's coming up in this next couple of hours of True Crime. True Crime Thursday underway. Plus, we're going to do the review of AEW Dynamite and get you a couple other sports news throughout the morning. So stay tuned for that. And headline news. We're almost 15 minutes away. We're say 7 minutes away from the top of the hour. And it's 52 degrees. Time and temperature once again is brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. You guys stay right there. When we come back, hey, we got more true crime for you. Our poll question up this morning is, which tragic event will be the next LMN Lifetime movie event? Will it be the Uvalde school shooting? 8% of you believe that. Covenant school shooting in Tennessee, 23% of you. Buffalo store shooting, 15% of you. And majority of you kind of believe in the way I believe. Neither one of these, not one of the 3 should be made into a movie. None of them at 54% of the vote. That's our poll question this morning on this True Crime Thursday. We're going to head into the weekend tomorrow with a big big poll question. It's going to have to do with the UFL. I'm going to go ahead and give you a preview for that, since tomorrow is Football Friday and getting ready for the weekend. And we're 1 week away from our WrestleMania preview show next Friday morning on the network. As WrestleMania 2 nights will be going on in Philadelphia. Plus, we'll talk about this year's WWE Hall of Fame. That's all next week. And great guests from Coach Tommy Lewis on Monday to Shane B on Tuesday with movie reviews to Weird Wednesday and True Crime Thursday. We're going to have Sally Toole from Histories and Mysteries. That's all next week on the show. So don't you dare move away from that radio dial. We've got a full week of great guests. Don't you dare move away. Back in a moment.
What do you do to be prepared in today's world? Hi, I'm Holly Reese. I'm the founder of Warrior Defenders. As a certified tactical self-defense instructor, I'm specializing in women's self-defense. All women of all ages have the ability to learn how to defend themselves effectively. private seminars are available. Learn today to have a safer tomorrow. WarriorDefenders.com.
Hank Arnold here from Cowie to Force. Cowie to Force is Newland's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowieforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
Hello, I'm Pina Payne with Contour Mortgage, and we're so excited we have just moved to this new
Captain Hot Buns. What's up, brother? I appreciate you coming on.
And we have some great products.
We got people from Buffalo, New York, everywhere. I appreciate that. Getting up in New York and Chicago areas and different areas like that. I need to be on all those radio stations there. Aren't you from the Illinois area, Captain Hot Buns, or am I getting confused with somebody else?
Fish dinners open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. is Wishbone Fried Chicken right next door to their former location, bringing you the best chicken around. So great. Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A, here in New.
Want to get back to your community in a meaningful way?
Arizona. Okay, that's right. I'm sorry, Captain Hot Buns. I got you confused with somebody else. I apologize to you. Arizona's a great place too. I love Phoenix is a good little place, but been through Flagstaff and there's one between Flagstaff and Phoenix. I can't remember. It starts with an S. Yes, I have heard. Yes, I have heard. I've been through there. The wife lived in Las Vegas, and I did a mini tour with a band through Arizona and Mexico and back to Las Vegas. So one big weekend. So yeah, been through all that.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Commando of the 45's Affair Radio Show, where I play all vinyl 45s. You're listening to WQEE.
Noonan, Georgia. That's right, where you're at, buddy. Thank you very much. Hey, good morning to everybody tuning in. Captain Hot Buns is with us this morning. I always like to say that. He's got a cool handle, man. I mean, come on. You know, it's cool when he comes on because I've got that, he's got that cool handle. I can actually say it like that, and it is like, wow. All right, guys, we're going to get back to some true crime news for you. Continue to come on and off if you want to. We got a lot of people coming on and off, listening on the different streams. 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast. We do appreciate that. All over the Navajo Nation, parts of New Mexico, Arizona, and, of course, the Navajo Nation. So they only have their radio stations on their area and, of course, internet sites that's only linked to their people. So it's unusual that I'm on there, but I appreciate you guys, Bob, Tim, all of you guys, for you guys allowing me to be there. I really do. Sue says, we love you here. Thank you. All right. LMA always does movies and all this good stuff. And they do movies. They do movies of all these tragic events. They recently just did one months back, and they replayed it last night with the Murdaugh murders. Well, which tragic event will be the next Lifetime movie network or Lifetime movie? Will it be the Uvalde school shooting? 7% of you believe that. Covenant school shooting, 21% of you believe that. Buffalo store shooting in Buffalo, New York, 14% of you believe that. And like most of you and me, 57% of you don't want none of them on there because those were all sad situations, and we do not need to just get one little side of the story. We need to get all sides of the story. We don't need to blame police or non-police and victims and non-victims and everything. And like I said, I blame media, social media, and dark web I tell you, if you go back and re-listen to the beginning of the show and part of the show when I had a great question asked to me from Steve in Buffalo, New York, I told him my thoughts and everything on that. So you guys can go back and check that out throughout the day and get this thing feed up going. And of course, man, the poll question helps out a lot on my feeds. It's been pushing my analytics on the YouTube page up. So like, subscribe, and share, and let everybody know. All right, let's jump back in. It's True Crime Thursday. We're going to talk about more true crime than you can shake a stick at this morning. Plus, we got a little sports news and other headline news for you, but nothing major that's going to take over because this True Crime Thursday, and I love doing true crime. Next Thursday, Sally Too from Histories and Mysteries will join us. She'll be with us next Thursday. Next Wednesday, I'm open to see if Randy Rocket Cody joins me. And next Tuesday, we'll have Shane B. He and I are going to talk movies. Next Wednesday is Weird Wednesday, by the way, if you're just learning what the days are. They all got themes. Twisted Tuesday, we'll do movies with Shane B. next week. Monday, coming up, Landmark Christian head football coach, our friend, the one, the only, Coach Tommy Lewis will be with us, and we're going to talk UFL football from over the weekend because that starts this Easter weekend. That starts this Resurrection Sunday as well in this weekend. So we'll talk UFL. And Major League Baseball is opening day today. The Braves won't have their opening day against the Phillies until tomorrow at 3:00 that time. And same back channel will bring us Country Radio. But first, thank you for being with us. But first, let's get back into it. I just was dropping all that in there. I do remember you. Thank you for coming on. How you doing on this wonderful day? I don't know if it's morning or night or wherever you're at. So I'm just going to say, how you doing on this wonderful day or evening? Thank you. I do remember you. I appreciate you supporting this show and liking and subscribing. I really do. All right, let's jump back into it. True Crime Thursday. A former Florida teacher is convicted of drugging and sexually abusing a foreign exchange student. This is getting more and more detrimental. I mean, when I was in school, you didn't even hear about things like this. And it happened every once in a blue moon. But when I was in school, even if we did have a semi-decent looking teacher, if it was a male for female, or if the females were into some of the coaches, nothing went far. It just wasn't thought of that way. I guess the boomers didn't think like that until you were out of high school. Now today they'll just marry as soon as they turn 18. I'm gonna marry you and move over here to another school. This happened in Florida. A 51-year-old former high school teacher was found guilty of these sexual crimes against a student who had been staying with him. Oh man! This week the jury convicted Dimitri Kasayuni, a former high school teacher, of engaging in activities upon a child 12 years age and older. It was a teenager, but younger than the age of 18. Tuesday, October 23rd, officers received a complaint about the possibility of the sexual battery against a juvenile, and the student, an Italian citizen, reported the crimes to his family back home. To the family back home. I don't know if it's he or she, who alerted law enforcement agencies. Lake County Sheriff's officials, detectives went to Apoka High School, where the teacher teaches, and spoke with the victim. They were reportedly living with Dimitri because he'd been working as the student's foreign exchange provider since August of 2023. Wow. Of course, I'm not going to get into the gory details of what happened, but the defendant later confessed to officials of what had happened. Wow, sickening stuff, man, sickening. Hi, microphone messed up, meant to say hi, wasn't any more school shootings into Columbine. Yeah, we had that back in the day. And if you remember Captain Hot Buns, and I'm not big on the show anymore, but when American Horror Story first came out, the first season of this haunted house, there was a character called Tate in there, and he was loosely based on that type of shooter. He was like listen to Nirvana and all that kind of stuff. He was loosely based. We learned over time that he had shot 4 students who came back, popular students who came back during, I would say, during the holidays or during Halloween. We also learned that his stepfather, his mother's husband, was a teacher at the school and he shot him and everything. And it was loosely based on Columbine. Ugh. And when I watched the Columbine thing, you could tell those kids, you can tell those guys were totally messed up. Back in the day, the only shooting they had was in 1966 at Texas University. I don't even think there were any school shootings until Columbine. Yep. So there you go. But you know what? Back then, we didn't really push the agenda of dividing people, calling one side fascist and the other side communist. I mean, we had those terminologies, but it wasn't like overwhelming. You know what I mean? It wasn't everybody. It wasn't the media wasn't doing it. And we didn't have social media back then to push people to really. The Columbine things, these guys had to record themselves on video cassettes of making movies and talking about things that people go, well, maybe they're going to shoot somebody. And I think one of the Columbine kids influenced the other one to do it. So, people back in our day, we were all about popularity too. And I guess that's one thing with me. I was never cared about being popular. I was a, Mr. Metalhead back in school. And then years later, as I grew up going into college and getting into jobs, you run into some of your old classmates and like, man, it was kind of hard being popular. I was like, what do you mean? You know what I mean, right? It was hard. It was hard being popular, everybody knowing you. I'm like, I didn't even pay attention to that. But a lot of people had problems with that back in the day. And that's where some of that came from. And I think that's where it comes from today. But I think it has mostly to do with if we've got somebody on the internet telling us they're all against you. You need to take a gun and you need to shoot your school up. And that's why we're having more violence today than we ever did before. Is because of the media. But this teacher has been charged. Wow. Oh. Well, you think that's terrible. Let's go for a murder for hire thing. The gun did not change society. Society changed it when it went from 1966, Texas State University, to 1999's Columbine. That's 33 years without a school shooting. That's true. I think it has to, it's like I said earlier, I had somebody ask me about that, and here's my opinion. I'm not blaming it on, I'm blaming a portion of it on little mental health issues because people have that. And we come from a generation X and above that I'm not going to go to a therapist because that means I'm crazy. That's one thing. Then we're passing along to our next generation, different points of view to the point. But my main thing has to do with media, social media, and all of them making things out worse than they are. It's like Steve from Buffalo, New York said that the media made out the situation, the Buffalo school shooting, was more than what they were trying to make it out to be. So, and he said he learned that by watching that. And in my opinion, again, Hunt Buns, I'm going to blame all social media and all media on some of these people doing these things. I know that they have to be a little bit, you know what I mean, not all there, but to do such a thing. But I think that if we didn't push my agenda and your agenda and this agenda and that agenda, and people are against you and people don't like you for who you are, when people really don't think like that. Honestly, I've met people on all sides of the aisle, independent, Republican, Democrat. 99% of all working class people have the same thought process, except for one thing. I don't like your candidate. I don't like your candidate. But they're not trying to hurt each other. But the media, dark web, all that stuff, that's what I blame the most on majority of these shootings. I don't blame gun owners. I don't blame, because I know a lot of gun owners, it's hard for them to get. It's easier to get a car today, financed in a day, 2 days, or a week than get a gun. I don't blame violent criminals being able to go buy them off the street because somebody else is being stupid doing it. I don't blame mental health issue as 100% of that thing, because there's got to be something wrong with you mentally if you want to kill somebody just because you don't like them or because you feel like they don't like you. But I blame it mostly on the pushing of the social media and media's lies. That's why I try to not do that, my friends. Back in a moment. I had to say that 3 times today, didn't I? Wow. Thank you. But my listeners are asking great questions. Back in a moment and making great statements.
WQEE 99.1 FM, Sharpsburg, Franklin, LaGrange.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. A new poll shows
Thank you.
presidential election-
See, if we got Captain Hot Buns, you, me, some of the other listeners on here, like Steve from Buffalo, New York, and Gail from Tennessee, and all her friends, and people in everywhere, looking at that together, we have more and more people agreeing like that. They're going to have to change the mainstream media news back to what it was, and then go on the internet. They're going to have to shut down some of these people. And it's not taking people's freedom of speech away, but if they're sitting here telling somebody that everybody hates them, that is causing. I mean, they taught this in public speaking classes in high school and college. Use certain words to get people, because they used to tell us politicians use certain words to get people. That's what they told us in public speaking. But back in the day when politicians were just like, I don't like so-and-so. Oh, I'm this agenda. No, I'm that agenda. That was back when Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan argued and still shook each other's hands. But, yeah, we can get everybody like that. I think we can push these agendas out. And I know some people are like, no, I don't want people's freedom of speech. You can have freedom of speech without pushing people into believing things. It's like I said earlier, you're not going to get me to believe that everybody that's on the left is communist and everybody on the right is fascist. You're not going to get me to believe that. Just because somebody's a patriot and believes in their country, that don't make them a fascist. Just because somebody wants to help somebody make sure they have money and not on the street, don't make them a communist. And that's what the media does. So I'm glad you agree. I'm glad everybody's agreeing. Maybe we can build this channel up to get more people on agreeing like us. And we'll take back over the country and show them without violence and hate that people can get along without and get along and disagree. And I'm talking about my listeners disagree. Then we'll have a few little funny people in there having a good time. Saying silly little jokes and stuff. That's fine. And us just laughing at them and picking out, messing back with them. They're like, oh no. It's like I said earlier, guys, the real trolls of the world are your social media speakers and influencers and YouTubers and your news people. That's your real trolls. They call everybody else trolls when they get on and go, hey, I disagree with what you're saying. That's a troll. That's why I call you guys. That's why I don't call those people trolls that come on and do that. So, they don't like me. I guess they ain't gonna like me in this business, but I've been in this business 20 something years, guys, 20 years. I know when I started, this is the way you have to act in broadcast radio. You go in the TV, they predicted that one day we'd be streaming and stuff like that. They didn't know they'd be streaming like this, but they said you always have to keep this same thought process. I can remember my original GM who's passed away now. It's still in my head today. Ryan, remember this. This. Like, yes, sir. Wow. True Crime Thursday. Wow.
706-525-5931. Speak to Charmaine Preston, CP Financial, your top local sale agent.
Hank Arnold here from
All right, let me pull this out so we can get back quicker. I'm ready to get back on the air. I got a lot of stories I want to get into. Let's see. Yeah, I want to do this one because I put it on the page. All right, let's make sure. Okay, there you go. Dun, 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 dun. And for me. Here we go. Thank you, Rod Peterson, one of my favorite people. You get back to work, brother. I appreciate you. Captain Hot Buns. I love your handle. It's so cool. I wonder where Pete is at today. Might have got. All right, you fantastic folks out there. It's the final period of play. True Crime Thursday. We'll give a little sports news and all that and get back to our true crime news. It's opening day in the major leagues for you baseball fans out there. I know you're excited. Well, I know we got some Arizona fans on here with us as well. Probably some New York Mets, New York Yankees fans. Braves are not going to be playing, though, today. Oh, you want to know who I am? I'm RyanORadio Penitentiary host with most, Ryan O'Neal, and of course, oh, you know I am the game. You know I got that right. 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast. Shout out loud across the RyanORadio media page. Earth, Rock, Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation, folks. We're across that. British Columbia, Isles of Canada, and finally, the Jordan Communication of family radio stations, East Alabama, West Georgia, including right here at 99.1 FM, WQEE, the key, home of news, inspirational talk, and Southern sports. We're Atlanta's only real talk station. And you are tuned into the RyanORadio Penitentiary, Atlanta and worldwide's only real radio show. You're in lockdown. And to my haters, I got this to say to you. I am the man around here. Sorry about that. I sounded like Peter Brady growing up when it's time for change. And it's time for change. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. Lockdown with us. We got another hour or less than, it's about 9 minutes past the hour. We got about 50 more minutes with you this morning on the RyanORadio Penitentiary. It's about 9 minutes past the hour, and current conditions are 53 degrees, or 52 degrees, I'm sorry. Brought to you this hour by Active Pest Control, your time and temperature. 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. Summer, winter, spring, fall. We don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. Mike on the crew can exterminate and lay the smack down just for you. Woo! Woo-hoo, woo-hoo! There you go. All right, we're going to jump into a couple of news stories that you guys might want to hear about, and sports stories, and then we'll get back into our true crime, since it is True Crime Thursday, our true crime episode. But first, before we get into that, which tragic event will be the next Lifetime movie or Lifetime Movie Network's movie? Uvalde school shooting, 18% of you say that could possibly be a possibility. The Covenant school shooting, 18% of you say that could be a possibility. The Buffalo store shooting in Buffalo, New York, 12% of you said that could be a possibility. And finally, 3% of you say none of them, which I'm hoping you're saying none of them because you don't want to see them, and I don't want to see them either. But you know how they are. They've made a movie, a 4-hour movie, 2-part episode of the Murdaugh murders of the lawyer in South Carolina that's accused of and been convicted of killing his wife and son in a community that his family kind of started. So they're not above, and Scott Peterson's story, they're not above of making movies based on true crime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at a couple of news stories for you this morning. Juan Santo is ready for the unique challenge of becoming a New York Yankee. You Yankee fans out there you go. A very engaged Tiger Woods is going to host the PGA Tour /PIF Bahamas meeting, and he's also going to play in the upcoming event, the big golf star stated on his social media X. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Caitlin Clark and Iowa's Hawkeyes, they survived the second round of the NCAA women's basketball tournament. Clark scored 32 on the Hawks with a big 32 as the Hawks went 64-54 in the game against West Virginia just the other night. They're going to 5-seed Colorado Buffaloes, which Deion Sanders is the head coach for the football team. His daughter is on the Colorado's Buffalo basketball team, by the way, to let you know. Tonight, 7:35, the River Dragons take on the Prowlers, as we got a couple of great games tonight, and going into Friday night is a great weekend for Prowlers. Are going to be welcoming the Columbus River Dragons, and the River Dragons will be back home next weekend, and we'll try to get some tickets to that as well. Columbus River Dragons heading into April for a championship run in a few weeks, as the FPHL championship is going to be on the line. They're still going to have to take on Baton Rouge as well as Carolina heading into and maybe even Mississippi. But this weekend, they got a weekend headed back up to see an old friend and an old enemy in the Prowlers. That's right. And so we'll keep you abreast of what's going on with that. Begin tonight, 7:35 for the Columbus River Dragons on the Columbus River Dragons network on their YouTube page. It could be back on the radio would help them out a lot. Radio gets out further too. AEW Dynamite review last night. Will Ospreay won his first match as an official member of the AEW roster. Also they showed a video of Bryan Danielson because the two of them will be facing at the next pay-per-view for AEW. AEW World Tag Team Tournament is set up. The Young Bucks defeated Private Party. And then they showed a video of Darby Allin with Tony Hawk. He spoke on Mount Everest for Tony Hawk's. They had an interview together for Tony Hawk's project, which is raising funds for underprivileged kids, but he's unable to because he broke his foot. So he can't climb. Dadgummit. Chris Jericho had a promo together, a 4-way match for the number one for the TBS Championship as Willow Nightingale defeated Anna Jay, Sky Blue, and Chris Statlander. Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, was on commentary as she came face-to-face with the TBS champion, Julia Hart, who came out to the stage. In the second for the Tag Team Championship tournament, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta defeated the Taylor and Bennett of the Undisputed Kingdom. Kyle O'Reilly backstage said, hey, I love the guys in the Undisputed Kingdom, but I want to continue winning on my own. Swerve Strickland took out Tashaki, and the next week's going to be a contract signing for the title AEW Championship with Samoa Joe. I guess MJF probably will be making his WWE debut next weekend. We'll have to wait and see. There's rumors he's out of his contract, and there's rumors he hasn't re-signed with AEW. Could he show up in Cody's corner next weekend when Cody tags up with Seth Rollins to take on The Rock and Roman Reigns in night 1 of WrestleMania? And then, of course, I bet you Seth turns on Cody and Cody's left on his own. And then night 2, MJF comes out and helps. And he comes face-to-face with The Rock. Oh, yeah. And then you can't wait to hear his promo on Raw after that. I believe that could happen. So we'll have a WrestleMania preview next Friday, 1 week from tomorrow. It's WrestleMania weekend, so I'm gonna talk about the Hall of Fame. We're gonna talk about the big matches. I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts on it. That's gonna be in the final period of our 3 periods of Friday edition of the RyanORadio Penitentiary in the 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time hour. So if you're a wrestling fan, being tuned in for that. If you're not, well, tune in anyway. So also next week on Thursday, History of Mysteries YouTuber, blogger, and traveler and everything, Sally Toole joins us for another episode of History of Mysteries True Crime Thursday. Next Wednesday, I'm hoping to get Weird Wednesday. We'll have Randy Rocket Cody with us. We'll see. Next Tuesday, Shane B and I are going to talk about top 10 movies, what hot, what's not from over the weekend. If Ghostbusters keeps the top spot, or if Godzilla and Kong, the new empire, takes over. We'll see. And we'll talk about tomorrow, some movies coming out over the weekend. No problem that you're late, Cher. We'll just write you up. I'm just kidding. This ain't school or a meal. So there you go. We'll have that for you next week. Let's get back into some true crime. 17 minutes past the hour. Current conditions around the metro Atlanta area. Guess what? It is 52 degrees still. The sun is trying to come out from behind them clouds. And Southern States Bank is this segment's time and temperature, of course, sponsor. Southern States Bank, 470-400-3411. Also in Carrollton, Noonan, both areas. Personal checking, common sense banking. They currently have 8 locations in Alabama, as well as Anniston, Auburn, and of course, Carrollton and Noonan, all East Alabama, West Georgia with you. Southern States Bank, banking done right. That's right. Customers can use their phone to even do transaction online. Customers can view their account balances and more with Southern States Bank and go live and see a person. Don't just put you in solitaire. Oh, yeah, I need to put you in solitaire because this is the penitentiary. Nah, we ain't going to do that either. You're a long-time inmate. You get away with things compared to newer inmates. As a warden, my longtime inmates get away with more than the newer ones. I turn away when you and Gail start beating everybody down in the yard. I just turn away the other way and go, I didn't see that. You know how the warden does to the longtime inmates. Southern States Bank bringing you a look at your time and temperature. Let's jump back into it. Our poll question this morning is, which tragic event will be the next Lifetime movie or Lifetime movie? Will it be the Uvalde school shooting? 22% of you say that. 17% of you say the Covenant school shooting. 17% of you say Buffalo store shooting. 11% say Buffalo store shooting. And 50% of you agree with me that hope that they don't do any one of these movies because they won't get it all right. 50% of you agree with me, none of these movies. All right, let's get back into some true crime. We're going to head to Washington. No, not that Washington. Clark County, Washington State is where we're going to head. Closer to Canada is where we're going to be headed. A man was taken into custody in Oregon after his friend allegedly asked him to help him kill his wife and staged it as a break-in. March 23rd, shortly before 7 p.m., deputies responded to a home where they found a woman who was dead from apparent gunshot wound. Deputies learned that the woman was initially found by her husband and 2 friends. Now, they can make this into a movie, but it seems like these guys took it from a movie. Sheriff says, oh, okay, I rule with Gil. Yes, you do. The sheriff's office asked for the public's assistance in locating a 2001 black Ford F-150 that had been reportedly stolen from the scene. The victim is 60-year-old Lindy Rommel, and she was identified at the Clark County Medical and by the Clark County Medical Examiner. The sheriff's office also announced that an update that police in Eugene, Oregon arrested 55-year-old Daryl Riley. He remains held in custody there before they can extradite him back to Washington. According to sheriff's officials recovered a stolen F-150 in a rural area And of course, further investigation revealed that James, the husband of the victim, allegedly drove his friend Riley from Oregon back to Clark County the day before the fatal shooting happened. According to the sheriff's office, officials believe that James may have solicited Darrell to stage what appeared to be a break-in to commit murder of his wife, Lindy. The investigation continues to move on. Wow. Can you believe somebody would try to kill their wife off like that? Or their spouse off like that? Just divorce them, guys. Easiest thing in the world. Divorce them. Oh, man, then they'll get my money. They'll get your money. Oh, no. The picture don't look like they're in their 60s. They didn't want them, dude. Whatever they were eating before she passed away, you know, they were taking care of themselves pretty good. Maybe that's why dude wanted to kill her, because he didn't want her to get his money. A 50-year-old South Carolina man, Christopher Minor, accused of killing his estranged wife and her friend during an argument that took the life of both the 52-year-old Kim Thrift and 41-year-old Mary Ellen Minor were deceased when police found them. Christopher Minor, who was last seen driving his own white Cadillac on Saturday, March 21st, was discovered after he had shot himself as well. Wow. Self-inflicted gunshot wound. He killed his wife, her friend, and he ended up driving himself away and killing himself. They'll have to investigate. They'll never know what caused him to do this. A 31-year-old man is facing charges after allegedly stabbing his pregnant girlfriend and causing the death of the victim's unborn child over the weekend. So there you go. It is an unborn child. Demetria Goler allegedly stabbed 31-year-old Telsa on Sunday, March 24th, near their home in Sterling Heights, Michigan. Police were initially called to the home approximately 3 a.m. They observed blood and everything. Wow. Shortly after, Clinton Township Police received a report of a blood-covered man about 10 miles away, according to the local television station there. Officials later found Dimitri and, of course, in the victim's vehicle. He was taken into custody. Wow. Now, here's an idiot. He's not a dumb one that we make fun crook. He's a dumb ass of the week. This is our dumb ass of the week. We always do this at the end of the month because we usually don't have a true crime guest at the last Thursday of the month. But here's a dumb ass of the week. A Texas man who claims God told him to sexually abuse a child gets life in prison. Well, also God told, I just want you to know, fella, that when you're being abused in jail sexually, that God told that inmate to do it to you then. He did. He told him to. A 46-year-old child predator who tried to defend his actions because his religious beliefs will spend the rest of his life behind bars for sexual assault in a juvenile for nearly 6 years. This guy's name is Christopher Claudel. He's guilty of child sexual abuse of a child and punishment with life in prison. In November of 2021, the then 18-year-old victim claims that Christopher has crimes to a family friend who later alerted law enforcement that Christopher, who had an ongoing access to the child, reportedly abused the victim since she was between the ages of 11 and 17. Ugh. Prosecutors say that Christopher justified his abuse action by saying, God told him to do it. That's what they did in the Bible. No, that's not what they... Okay, I got to explain this to morons who don't know anything about the Bible. You can't... It's blasphemy to try to make the Bible anything you like and sell them. It's blasphemy It's for you to learn from. It's the same thing as a man saying, well, I could have a wife, girlfriend, and a concubine. No, just because the kings had it in there didn't mean they were right. It was God was trying to change their hearts because they were wrong. Okay. Anyway, Christopher eventually confessed to sexually assaulting the victim for years, and he said so because they had a relationship that was a love like they had in the Bible. Well, the Collins County District Attorney, that was like me, Greg Willis, he didn't believe this stuff. In a statement after the sentencing, he says, it's revealing that this is revolting that this is a horrible, evil person, not only inflicting such pain and evil on a child, but also twisting a twisted nerve to use God in the Bible just to justify it. Thank you, D.A. Willis. I'm with you on that one. He said, yeah. We are thankful that the jury saw through his deceit and delivered justice. Well, there's going to be someone in there that's going to biblically take you, Christopher, and you can't sit there and say that this is not right because what you did was wrong. And what was I don't remember any children being molested in the Bible. Okay. I know there were some young people at different times that were a little bit, but not children. Okay. Oh, what a sick little prick he is. I hope somebody just, does something to him. They just do something to him. I just want you to know this. I just want people to know this. Everything we read in the Bible is for us to learn from. What to do and what not to do. It's a guide to our world, not, well, there's a king having a wife, a concubine, a girlfriend, sleeping with all kinds of women. Why can't I do it? It's in the Bible. No. What God was trying to show that king was he was wrong for what he was doing. And he had to bring him to be saved. That's what that's all about. People ain't going to believe that. They don't want to believe that. They want to believe I'm right and everybody else is wrong. He's still probably sitting up in prison right now thinking he's right. And the rest of us are wrong. They judged me wrong. Somebody's sitting up in the jail bell like, hey, boy, I read the Bible. God to take you out. Look, if he believes that that's in the Bible, also it's believed that in God's name somebody can kill him. So, hey, you better watch out. Even though, really, thou shalt not kill. There's 10 commandments. All right, back in a moment. Let's see here. I think we got all that out of the way. Yep, we'll do that tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I want to do that one. Arizona driver sentenced for punching woman and killing boyfriend. Oh, okay, let's see here.
Hi, I'm Amy with Killers with Realty. My husband Todd and I serve the Coweta and local area. Our purpose at our first meeting is to learn your goals, answer questions, and provide resources so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. 678-525-0047 to schedule a free consultation today to discuss your real estate needs. You don't have to do this alone.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a top expert in medical, health, and life insurance? Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston, your trusted agent for finding the perfect plan to fit your journey. She works with multiple companies, ensuring the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-525-5931. Meet Charmaine Preston, CP Financial, your top local sales agent.
Want to give back to your community in a meaningful way? Cares for Kids is a Keller Williams Realty founded charity in which 100% of money raised goes directly to children in need in our area. Cares for Kids helps fund local organizations like Angel's House, Coweta Fawcett, Elevate, and more. Help Cares for Kids reach their mission of serving 1 million children.
Call 678-634-9770 today to learn more on how to be involved, or text K for K Newman to 44321 to donate.
Hey, sports fans, weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, drive time.
What? Huh? Oh, how you doing, friends of Link? Thank you for inviting me. We appreciate that.
Back to Key and the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE 99.1 FM. Hi, this is Art Soriano, asking you to tune in to Let Go and Let God every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. here on WQEE. We help those who are struggling with their faith or have doubts through discussion, inspiration.
All right, here we go. We're coming back. I got several commercial breaks this hour, I think. More, let go and let go. Sorry about that. Still to come this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we got our dumb crook of the day. We had our dumbest of the day just a few minutes ago. Now we got our dumb crook of the day coming up for you. But first, here we go. All they don't want none. Tell them. That's right. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. Good morning. Good afternoon. If I see you again, very, very good night. Welcome back into the Straight Edge Independent Skeptic, giving it like it is. We're on a True Crime Thursday. The last Thursday of the month, we don't really have guests, so we do true crime news all through the last 2 hours of that. Coming up on Monday's show, Coach Tommy Lewis will join us. Coming up on Monday, he and I are going to speak about the UFL football action. It's going on over Resurrection Weekend, Easter weekend. We'll talk about that on Monday. On Tuesday, Shane B and I are going to see if Ghostbusters Frozen Empire keeps the number one spot, or if Godzilla and Kong, the new Empire, take the top spot. And we'll talk about what's hot, what's not, what you need to check out. And he's going to check out Ghostbusters for us to tell us if it's any good or not. On Wednesday, hopefully we'll have Randy, Rock, and Cody with us with another episode. And True Crime Thursday, we will have Histories and Mysteries, True Crime Thursday, History and Mysteries Thursday. We're going to travel the state and around the states with our tour guide and YouTuber and extravagant traveler and grandmother and mother and more with Sally Toole next week. She tells great stories. And a great storyteller and traveler with us. And the next Friday is leading right into WrestleMania weekend. So 1 hour on next Friday will be my WrestleMania preview, review, everything. Sorry, I'm going to do it. And like I told you, I ain't been watching much wrestling and everything because of the issue with Vince McMahon and everything. But WrestleMania is coming up next weekend. They're doing a big show. There may be some people showing up that we don't know. So I'm going to preview, review, and talk about that and give you some of my thoughts next Friday morning on the show. But tomorrow morning is Friday's edition. It's the Good Friday edition. We're going to be getting ready for Resurrection Sunday this Sunday. We're going to be getting ready for UFL football weekend. Major League Baseball open today, but the majority of opening tomorrow because of the rain in the forecast around the east side of the United States. And I'm going to probably talk tomorrow morning, looking at some of the stuff I got here. We're probably going to talk about The Dark Side of the Ring, the one that I watched recently about Terry Bam Bam Gordy from the Fabulous Freebirds. Good Friday, we're going to talk about Easter, its traditions. We're going to give you Easter weekend. We're going to tell you about the Cadbury Bunny tomorrow morning, who the new Cadbury Bunny is. If you know it, don't give it away. Also, a mysterious light in the sky over San Antonio, Texas is not a UFO, but actually, we'll tell you what it is. Also, Mackenzie Scott, the former wife of Jeff Bezos, is giving away $16.5 billion since she's been divorced from him. I want to see if I can get some of that money to help me out and everything. And no, she's not just giving it away to give it away. She's doing it for profits and nonprofits and setting it up for people who are doing businesses and stuff. So it's not like she's just handing money to the first poor person that needs it. So even though that would be nice, but it's not what some of you are thinking. So I don't want you to get that confused with what the woman is doing. All right, let's jump into this, ladies and gentlemen. We got a couple of more newsworthy notes before we do our dumb crook of the day to end the hour. But our poll question this morning, which tragic event do you think will be the next Lifetime movie, network movie? Will it be the Uvalde school shooting? 22% of you believe that could happen. The Covenant school shooting in Tennessee, 17% of you believe that happened. And the Buffalo store shooting in Buffalo, New York, and we got a listener on from Buffalo, New York. Steve C is with us this morning. 11% of you believe that. And then 50% of you are probably on my team, which means none of them, which I believe would be a good idea because you're not going to get the 100% right story from both sides. There's going to be a lot of made up stuff. And my personal opinion, social media, and everything is what is causing people to go crazy. They're telling you that everybody is after you. Then there's some politicians out there saying they're after you. They're not after you. Stop thinking somebody's after you. And this is the point that all these shootings happen because these people went in the dark web in the world saying that everybody hated them. And my point of view this morning, if you went back and watched the whole show, I had a question from a couple of listeners. It was one of them from Buffalo. He asked me my thoughts on the issues of the shootings. And my issue is not just the mental health issue. It's not just that. That's a big part of it. But it's not guns because anybody can guns anywhere. It's not that issue. It's the issue of media, social media, underground media, false media, clickbait media, basically pushing lies on everybody, telling you that everybody's out to get you. Everybody's out to keep you from believing in God. No, they're not. Everybody's out to tell you you can't transform into a parrot. No, they're not. Nobody's out to do that. Most middle-class people out here working on both sides of the aisle, I know, and even in the independents, I meet independents, Republicans, and Democrats every day. There are 99% of them all doing the same thing. That 1%, the only thing that they're different is who they vote for. And they don't cross paths and want to really hurt each other. That's just what clickbait media wants you to believe. So, and it's the same thing as like, and I answered that question this morning, it's the same thing. That's why I don't think any of these events should be presented because we won't know the real truth behind them because everyone that was involved in it is dead. All the shooters are dead. And we need to, all they're going to do is try to make out like society push these people to bully these people to do this stuff. And that is not true because it's like I said earlier, everybody on the right that's a patriot that wants to believe in the United States, they're not a fascist. Everybody on the left that wants to help out people, make sure there's programs for poor people with no money that can't afford things. Let's give our taxes, help them out. They're not communists. So it's not true. The words that are utilized in public speaking from public speakers is what causes the division and what causes these people to do this thing. The biggest thing is public speaking in the words, the way people utilize their words to people to why things that happen. And we have to we were taught this in high school and public speaking classes as well as college and public speaking classes. I was taught that politicians use little words to rile up their base to get them to vote for them. I was taught that people in media, because I went into some media classes, that they use certain words to get people's attention. So, yeah, I'm giving away a little bit of this public speaking stuff and everything. But if our society hadn't gone as bad as it has, or hadn't gone as far as bad as it has with the violence and stuff, I wouldn't be talking about this. You know, we'd just be doing things. It's like I tell people, I'll get a few people following us. Throughout the remainder of the day, there'll be my analytics on the YouTube is great. I mean, I got 50,000 listeners on the Shoutcast. It's all good. But I let everybody know when they start asking questions, why you don't got as many people? Because I'm not a clickbaiter. I'm not a liar. I'm not a thief. I'm not using public speaking to get you mad at one another. And if we come together, and that, I think majority of my listeners from Arizona to New York to everywhere are starting to say, okay, we need to be together in this situation. You can disagree with one another politically all day long. You can disagree on anything without hearing the violence, but the public speaking is what gets people going. And that's what riles people up. And to me, every one of these events that I'm asking you about in here was riled up by someone online, someone using public speaking to get it done. That is the truth of the matter. So that was my answer to their question when they asked me that earlier. So, and that is my real belief. I know there's a portion of it, mental health and everything. Good morning from Pete to Ryan in the Navajo Nation. Inventory day. Sweet Leaf's like, we've been waiting for you to get here, Pete. Sue says, good morning, Pete. Tim says, hey, Pete. Bob says, oh, Pete, you finally joined us, huh? Alice says, good morning, Pete from Canada. Also in Canada says, Mike in Canada said, what's up? Dave says, good morning, Pete. Tennessee agrees, says Gail. I know you do. We're Southerners. We have to think about it all the time. We grew up with moonshine and guns around us. Come on. Not for long, but I hate inventory. Will you tell the boss that I said that you need to stay on? 20 minutes away from the top of the hour. It's currently, once again, this time brought at 51, 52 degrees. Your time and temperature brought to you by Southern States Bank, making banking easier here in the metro Atlanta area of Noonan, and offices and locations in Anniston, Alabama, Auburn, Alabama, Lineville, Alabama, also in Carrollton, Georgia, here in Noonan as well, located at 20 Oak Hill Boulevard in Noonan. Bringing you, I understand you need the money, brother. I'm picking with you. Bringing you a look at your time and temperature. All right, let's do this one right here, and then we'll get the dumb crook of the day after we take this next break. Police in Columbia, Kentucky, have arrested 57-year-old Joseph South, what a name, on suspicion of fatally shooting his elderly landlord while the suspect was in the process of, evicting him out of his home. He fired several rounds at him, and the 81-year-old Earl Coffey was shot and killed. He leaves behind family and friends and everything. Southern was arrested on murder charges. Guess he thought it was his home. You're not kicking me out of here. See, I was telling you yesterday when that fake influencer idiot on the internet was sitting there trying to tell people to come from other countries. And when you get in other countries, squat in homes that people own that are they're not got any kind of, anybody living in, and they can't throw you out. That was a lie. This guy was throwing this guy out, and this guy shot him because he knew he could throw him out. It's a lie. It's a lie. Another lie told by the influence, the YouTube media, the influencers on TikTok. Another lie told by all of them, which they got way more followers. I got 5,000 followers on my Facebook page, friends, and on the radio station page, another 5,000, and they're majority different. I've got 25,000 because I don't push the page, my personal RyanORadio Penitentiary page. So we got to get the YouTube page up to all of that as well. Back in a moment. Stay with us. More on the way as the RyanORadio Penitentiary cruises on. We're going to do our doobly-dum-dum crook of the day coming up after this, and we're getting ready to close out. We're about 15 minutes away from the top of the hour. Yeah. Radio news time and temperature is 52 degrees. That's what it's telling me on my temp. I'm looking at it. That's under cloudy skies out there. The Braves and the Phillies won't be playing today. It has been rescheduled for tomorrow at 3:05 because of rain is in the forecast for that game. A lot of games here on the East Coast are going to be rescheduled to Friday. But it is opening day in the major leagues. Go Braves. Look, I got to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you something. Nobody's going to lose to the Braves today because the Braves are not playing. all the teams in the major leagues, Major League Baseball is safe today because they're not going to lose to the Braves because the Braves are not playing today. The Phillies needed one more day. It's opening day, man. We got the Braves, man. We got the Braves, man. We got the Braves. Oh, my goodness, the Braves. Back in a moment.
Family fun is back in Lynette. Quantum Carnival and Joy Communications present the Lynette Spring Carnival. April 2nd through the 7th. Rides, fun, food, games, more. Open nightly 6 p.m. 2 p.m. for weekends. Lynette Spring Carnival. Highway 29 Old Neal Parking Lot in Lynette, Alabama. April 2nd. You and me. Be there.
You're walking, jogging, or on your favorite trail. You get that feeling somebody's coming up on you. What do you do to be prepared in today's world? Hi, I'm Holly Reese. I'm the founder of Warrior Defenders. As a certified tactical self-defense instructor, I'm specializing in women's self-defense. All women of all ages have the ability to learn how to defend themselves effectively. With technical drills to build their survival skills, you can be your own hero. Classes and private seminars are available.
There's Holly.
To have a safer tomorrow. WarriorDefenders.com.
Hank Arnold here from Cowboy the Force. Cowboy the Force is Newland's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowboytheforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
Hello, I'm Pina Payne with Contour Mortgage, and we're so excited we have just moved to this new company. And we are located at 560 Noonan Crossing Bypass in Noonan next to Art and Jake's. And we have some great products. Our interest rates are better than any other company. And we also have some great products for the VA. We can do a better deal for you with fees than any other company. We have a lot of different kind of programs.
Wishbone Fried Chicken is back in a brand new location.
See you tomorrow, brother.
Street Sweet A here in Noonan. Same great taste, the best chicken around. Fish dinners, open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's Wishbone Fried Chicken. Right
more
next
votes
door
to that on
the
earlier.
location, bringing you the best chicken around. So great. Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A here in Noonan.
You hear music to go there to speak to you on a deeper level. I'm Bruce Thompson. Join me and Donna Wood every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. on WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, for our show, Lyrical Wisdom. Every week we will dive into the lyrics of songs and uncover hidden messages that we hope believe you can inspire. We know that our ideas are not always going to be yours, so the show will be in discussion. Email us with that. That's Lyrical Wisdom Show at gmail.com. Let's share some wisdom.
Dave Scott, host of Spaced Out Radio. Come join us every night starting at midnight on WQEE 99.1 FM. Together, we will head down a path of mystery and unbelievable stories of people experiencing true tales of ghosts, UFOs, monsters from the finest storytellers we know. Tune in Spaced Out Radio nightly on WQEE 99.1 FM. Where together, my friends, we own the night.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Fernando on the 45's Affair radio show, where I play all vinyl 45s. You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, Noonan, Georgia.
Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. Oh, I love that theme music, man. Oh, nothing but a good time is what we're having this morning, taking us up to the end of the hour. It's time for a little dumb crook news for you, and then we're going to close out the show and get ready for Sustainable Brown Girl, followed by Raven in Real Life and Heart to Heart Radio Network with Margie Conway. Best sports lineup in the business takes over at noon with the Rod Peterson Show from 12 to 2. And it's from 2 to 3, it's the Sports with Richard Holder. 3 to 5, it's going to be Braves Country Radio for you right here. And the Braves Country Radio guys are going to be back on the call tomorrow at 3:05 for the Braves and the Phillies, because it's been canceled. It's been shut down. Boom, boom, boom. Also, Rick Smith takes over at 5 o'clock. We got the sports line, best sports lineup at night in overtime, or I should say extra innings tonight. Starting at 7 o'clock, it's the Crowded Booth with Bryce Kuhn. 8 o'clock brings you Live with CDP with Chris Pomey. He brings you CDF news, CFL news, NHL news, and NFL news, and more, and great guests. Also, ladies and gentlemen, follow that up with the Brian Snow Show from 9 to midnight. Brian Snow has the very best sports news of the day from all over the country. That's our sports lineup beginning at 7 o'clock this evening. And we're going to be adding some stuff in between starting 5 to 7 as well. Great programming ideas. If you got some programming ideas and you know that it's going to be successful, shoot us an email at 99classrock@gmail.com or call me at 770-347-9947. Let's jump into it. It's our dumb crook of the day and coming from Florida. No, it's not a Florida man. It's a Florida woman. A convicted felon in 3 different Florida counties. Well, she eluded law enforcement for most of November, but authorities tracked her down that she was hiding in her own home. According to FLA television reports, the Citrus County Sheriff's Office had been searching for 39-year-old Stacy Usher. They ushered her into jail. She has a history of fraud, grand theft, obtaining property by writing worthless checks. Well, they might be worthless to the person getting them, but they're not worthless to her. I don't even know how people still write most checks anymore. Wow. The Post also noted that Usher is registered convicted felon in Citrus as well as 2 other counties, and that she was wanted for a current parole violation for the sale of fentanyl and the unlawful use of two-way community device. It's not clear that the alleged parole violation, what it entailed, but it is clear that the hide and seek may have not been her best forte, because according to Fox 13 there, when the reports of the deputies searched her home, they found her hiding inside her couch, meaning she's now back in the cushion. She was inside her couch. They're not going to find me in here. They will not find me if I hide in my couch. What I want to know is, how do people like this have food, have money, have their electricity, have their everything? I'm thinking when these dummies are doing this, I'm thinking somebody's living in a home with all the amenities that we have to pay for, and nobody's called the cops and say, hey, they're still paying for their utilities over there. She had to go out in public to get food if she's by herself. I mean, I want to know how she was eluded police all through the month of November into the month of December. And she finally got caught in the middle of December, actually towards the end of December, going into January of this year. How? I mean, no, she wasn't as important as the rest of them, but she was hiding in her couch. They won't pull the cushion under my bed, look in my closet. They'll never search the couch. Sure. I saw it on TV one time. There was this guy. Hey, big fan from Philippines. What's up, Joey GG? Thank you. Could you give my sister a birthday shout out? Yes. Happy birthday to your sister. I can't really see that. Miyagi? I'm going to say Miyagi. Sorry. Happy birthday to your sister, Miyagi. I hope I said it right. If not, I apologize, Joy G. Thank you for being a fan from the Philippines. One of my favorite places in the world. Some of the nicest people in the world are from the Philippines. Just like Canada. I got accused earlier on this video being Canadian. Like, you sound too nice and caring and you sound Canadian. I'm like, well, that's not a bad thing to say, is it? I'll take it as an honor. You think all Southern people, like, come on, Southern people always had that care and stuff forever. We just, the internet just shows the worst of them. Like with everything else. All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting ready to get out of here. I know. You don't want me to leave. Well, we got to get more big sponsors on. We got to continue doing this thing. We got to get people coming and going, hey, there's a truth teller over there on the news, and he's not dividing people. And then all the clickbait people on here are like, no, don't follow him. Don't follow him. My clickbait's the only thing. All the clickbaiters remind me of Butthead. What's up, Bunch? The world's coming to an end. Yep. That's it. Fascist. Communist, fascist. Thank you. I appreciate that. Great show today by everyone. Yep. Everyone. I appreciate everybody joining in and being part of it. And she says, bye, everybody. Great show today is what Gail says. Have a great rest of your day and be safe as well. Clickbait people not going to like it. Get more views throughout the day than they do. Like, no. Part of the show is the Friday show, and it's going to be the Good Friday show. So to my believers out there, I'm going to do mostly a lot of stuff like that tomorrow morning. And we'll talk about the new Cadbury bunny. Yeah, you're just not going to believe. You're not going to believe this one. He's a pet, but you're just not going to believe what kind of pet. If you already know, don't ruin it for everybody. Plus, we'll talk about Easter weekend coming up. Godzilla and Kong, New Empire tomorrow. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire weekend 2. We'll talk a couple other things and get ready for the weekend. And we'll have your River Dragons matchup for tomorrow. And I'm going to have our poll question tomorrow morning. Poll question this morning at the end of the hour. What tragic event will be the next Lifetime Movie Network movie? The Uvalde school shooting, 20% of you say that. The Covenant school shooting, 15% of you say that. The Buffalo, New York store shooting, 15% of you say that. And then the winner is 50% of us saying none of them. We don't want it. All it's going to do is tell half a story or a portion of a story that they don't even know that they've got to make up to make everybody mad at one another. So we don't want that. So I agree. So that is ending the poll this morning. And we appreciate all of you guys being with us. We're going to get out of here. Yeah, tomorrow morning's poll question is going to have to do with the UFL. First weekend of UFL football action between the XFL and the USFL divisions. We'll see how spring football looks this year. Until we meet again, this is Ryan O'Neal saying peace, love, respect. I'm out of here. Have a great morning. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. See ya. All right, guys, we thank you. Hopefully, we'll have some more people on tomorrow.
WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key.
Like Pete back on with us tomorrow. All right, you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you on the flip side of everything. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay.